This is killer. Oh, no, 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 no.
Hello and welcome to the RetroBlasting Saturday Livestream. I'm Melinda. That's Tim. That's Aaron, and this is Michael French.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael French.
Bringing back future fashion.
Bringing it back hard.
So, Michael, what makes a future fashion?
Someone who's really bored with everything.
No, I mean,
You're not bored.
I'm
what
really
is
bored.
definitely
What
not
future
bored.
fashion?
We're excited. We're excited to be
What?
here. You're gonna
Let
be
everybody
excited.
let me know if you can hear me. I turned this microphone down.
You know I hate it when you say that.
Well,
I hate
also,
it
this
when you start the show that way.
microphone's different.
Bradshaw Studio says, I see why you like RC, Michael. It is very good.
It is very good.
remote controlled cola is awesome. So, Michael, again, what makes a future garment?
Well, from 1981 to 85, there was a lot of freedom in fashion that went away very quickly when the yuppies took over. But if you watch movies like, Night of the Comet or Rad or things like that, you will see that early 80s take on,
I do miss the onesie I wore riding my BMX bike.
see?
So,
Or
I
the
never-
jumper that you wore?
It involves like,
my gentleman's blouse.
shirts that have like the sculpted shoulders on the back where it's like got a gusset on the back of the shoulder that really makes it defined, and it's kind of waist fitted,
Mhm.
because,
shoulder pads. Michael
not shoulder-
misses-
not-
Michael
not-
misses shoulder
not
pads.
shoulder pads, shoulder gussets on the back that kind of make it a wedge shaped, future jacket.
I'm Candace Bergen, and I agree.
The whole outfit that Eddie Murphy wore in Delirious.
Delirious.
Yeah,
Delirious.
Yeah, that's a very future fashion forward
That
looking
is.
thing.
Mhm.
I think it's a shame that we got away from that.
Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Jumpin' Jack Flash, yeah.
Yeah, who makes statements with their garments?
time
anymore?
chasers?
Oh, yeah.
Time chasers, when they go to the future, they go to a shopping mall and it's like they sit at the Sbarro of the future.
Sbarro.
And
Bill
like
says
they have a
that's
lot
what
of
they
people
do.
wearing trench coats and like little kids talking on flip phones while riding their skateboard. And I mean, that's pretty accurate, really.
Wow.
I like to think that in the future, pizza's shaped like dodecahedrons.
I just-
instead of,
look,
triangles.
I just feel like we should live by the old adage, you don't dress for the society you have, you dress for the society you want.
Please,
I think-
I
Scuba
love it.
Pete says he loves a good corduroy jacket, so you may want to clarify that that's not corduroy.
Well, this isn't corduroy, but maybe he just loves corduroy.
I mean, maybe he does.
It is fair to state
When
that
you wear
love a
corduroy
jacket.
pants, everybody knows that you love them.
Yes.
All right. So thank you, John. Thank you for the kind comment about my jacket. All right. So
Should
I know
we
we're-
actually talk about the
we should
topic?
talk back to the topic.
Okay.
So officially,
People will get mad if we don't.
I know.
How long can we put it off?
Even though
I wanna know
even
how
though
How bad can you get?
first let's talk about the
Mad can
dichotomy
you
of
get?
that. All right. So people get mad when we don't have a topic for the live stream. But when we do have a topic, they want to talk about everything but the topic. But if you don't have a topic, they get mad. So I expect you guys to want to talk about anything else. Skillets, vacuums, the latest episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You'll probably want to talk about everything but the topic. But if we didn't have this topic, you'd be pissed. So here we go.
Here we go. Everybody gets whatever they want. And Jody says, from earlier, Kieran said, I'm on the hunt for a red Hoover. I can highly recommend a Henry.
A Henry.
A Henry's a rifle.
That is a
I
new.
feel like that's a
I-
joke. Is it?
I don't know.
I feel like it's a joke that I don't get.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
A Henry is the competing
Sorry.
rifle to the Winchester in the Old West. I know that much.
Well,
Is there
we all know
someone
who
named
won that
Henry
one.
Hoover that he's making a joke about?
There's Herbert Hoover.
Right.
Is it
I
Henry
know
Herbert
that.
Hoover?
It's Hoover Dam.
Oh, that's true.
Wait a minute. Dick York, Dick Sargent, Sergeant York. That's weird, man.
6
Vinkman
degrees of
says,
separation.
Vinkman says, Aaron, the Aaronest Aaron that ever Aaron was trying out his new vacuum cleaner when it came to life and started attacking him. Fortunately, he distracted it with moon pies and then shorted it out by pouring RC Cola on it.
I
Well,
feel
Aaron
like
would have
ninja
to
stars.
vacuum.
Just like
You've been watching.
He would Red Bull. He would throw Red Bull at it.
just sneeze.
All right,
That's
so
true.
Aaron,
Yes.
you were the man of the hour suggesting this topic, not putting you on the spot, but I guess my question to you to start off this live stream would be, what do you see as the defining differences between these two series, like Bourne Identity, Jason Bourne versus Jack Ryan?
Oh, I mean, where should I start? There's
At
very
the beginning, and then work your way
okay.
up.
Well, I was a small lad of about 7 years old who just stepped out into the sunlight from Herbert Henry Elementary School in Wisconsin, Chesterfield, Illinois.
That's Herbert Henry Hoover Elementary School.
too
The
far back.
Henry is a vacuum cleaner, apparently. So, anyways,
Okay, so the real obvious differences between these two characters is that you've got Jack Ryan, who is sort of a desk jockey, a CIA stock market trading,
Mhm.
comes from money, kind of a higher society type individual. And then you have Jason Bourne, who I think was kind of like a blue collar kind of kid who
Mhm.
came up and got pulled into sort of the wet work side of the
Mhm.
CIA. And was taught really like the art of killing, the art of espionage. I mean, he's just much more the guy that you would hand the gun to and say, go do the thing. And the
Mhm.
irony in his movies is that he's trying to gather the intelligence. He's trying to figure out who he is and what happened. Whereas you have Jack Ryan, who's sort of the desk guy, who frequently finds himself like in the submarine
so
holding
he's
the
trying
pistol.
to figure out how to
He's trying like
pew pew pew.
he's like, I'm just a desk worker. Like, why are you having
not
me
even
go
supposed
out?
to
That
be
in every
here
movie.
today.
Yeah, in every movie, he's like, I'm not supposed to go out. In the
But he
field."
was
So he's Dante.
in his
Yeah, I'm
in-
not even supposed to be here today.
but in his character background, he was a Marine,
He was a Marine who got injured in a helicopter accident. So
right?
it isn't that he doesn't have the stamina or the strength or the training to be a hunter, but at the stage of his life where most of the movies that you see him in, it's post-injury. He's been working a cushy job. I think in the Hunt for Red October, he's also already kind of financially independent
Right.
because of his trading on the stock market. He's all peacoats, got a kid. My wife is a doctor. I live in a nice house and I know British royalty.
So boring.
I would say far from boring.
Hmm.
That's Jason Boring. that you referred to.
Wow. So
I'm going to need you to move to that side of the table.
I mean,
So,
that's where I
um,
originally sat, but you know.
I mean,
What are
Jody
you trying to
says,
say?
Jody clarifies that the Henry is a red vacuum cleaner that has eyes and a mouth painted on it. Well, that's just disturbing.
I think that sounds excellent.
Vinkman says, sorry, I wish I could stay, but I've got to go. Stuck at work. Boo. I miss you all.
We miss you too, Venkman.
Thanks for dropping in, man.
We missed the Aaron stories.
We do.
They're always interesting.
So yeah, Kieran points out that Bourne volunteered for the mission.
I mean, he finds that out eventually.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Jack just forgets to write a report.
He didn't file his TPS report.
Well, and I think one of the things that I thought was one of the interesting things that I thought about having this as a versus topic was the fact that the impetus for each of these stories are books.
Right.
You've got the original Tom Clancy, Jack Ryan series of books that sort of has bloomed into this like industry, this giant corporation of just continuing to release novels even after the original author's passing.
Mhm.
And then you've got the Jason Bourne novels, which are the subject matter wise are not really that great. I mean,
Right.
I'm sure there are lots of people who are fans of it, but the time that I sat down and tried to read it, I was like, whoa, this is not as good. This is for Tim. This is a case where something was not as good in book form as the movie was. I think the movie really captured it well.
George asks, why do all the action spies have the initials JB?
Because they all stick together. You might say they weld.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
dad joke.
But very quickly come up with, so that was good.
Bum, 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 bum.
Eddie says, sort of on topic, I like the Dean Martin films, but I would love to see a more faithful adaptation of the Matt Helm books.
I'm not familiar with Matt Helm.
I would like to find out more about Matt Helm if he's in this milieu, as they say.
Well,
know-
I mean, if Dean Martin's involved, this is going to be fascinating.
The thing about Jack Ryan is that Jack Ryan is always a step behind. That's how he finds himself in the situations that he's in.
Which is
He's
why I don't like him.
except in, I believe, The Hunt for Red October, because in The Hunt for Red October, he's one step ahead of everybody else.
He's the guy in the room who thinks he knows what's happening,
right?
And he thinks he recognizes everything else. But you're right, when he's always reacting to something,
right?
In the rest of the stories,
it's not because he's stupid. It's because the events happen, and he's determining something's about to go down. But he's always having to react to it because it's either happening so fast or behind so many, closed curtains that he's having to, uncover it. Whereas Bourne, on the other hand, is actively hunting and looking for this one thing that he knows he has to recapture, which is his memory and who's after him and all that kind of stuff.
The difference between being on the defensive and being on the offensive.
Yeah,
sure.
I think Bourne's defense is a very fast and devastating offense. Frequently, it's his ability to fight. His physical abilities are actually captivating.
In Bourne, it's always about him,
right?
In Jack Ryan, it's always about a situation.
Yes. Yeah. The closest it comes to being about him is Patriot Games, where it's
where he's the target.
Yeah.
Or one of,
but it's still because of the situation he found himself in.
Right.
Where he was the Boy Scout.
I just don't find him as endearing as a character. That's just me. But
there hasn't been the consistency there. That's also my problem.
That is also
a big problem for me.
Well, this isn't. Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
Scott. Thank you so much for the very, very kind super chat. He says, reading The Hunt for Red October was what prompted me to join the Navy back in the day. I think Jack Ryan is very much of his time, as the Cold War recedes into memory, he's lost a lot of what made him distinctive.
Yeah, especially given the post 2000 attempts to make movies out of his content. Some of All Fears and the Chris Pine movie didn't resonate with people like the first three films had done. Even though Alec Baldwin was recast with Harrison Ford, those three films are of a kind.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're very different from each other in tone and character. I love Hunt for Red October for a lot of the reasons that he said. You guys know that I love kind of Soviet era Cold War mysteries and the machineries and the machinations. So the idea of this giant Soviet submarine that was somehow like a spaceship compared to its American counterparts.
Right.
And it's interesting that it was the technology that made the Soviet submarine so effective in the movie, but it was the skill and bravery of the men in the submarines on the American side. It was a very interesting commentary on the Cold War.
Yeah, especially given that the movie adaptation didn't come out until 90.
Mm-hmm.
So we were fast approaching the end of the Iron Curtain and everything else at that point. That was one of those movies that, by 1989, even James Bond had moved on from Cold War conflicts with License to Kill because they could see the beginning of the end. It was like, well, this is quickly becoming irrelevant. So for Hollywood to, at that time, jump on the Jack Ryan, Tom Clancy bandwagon was strange because as the movies unfurled into the 2000s with Ben Affleck, Some of All Fears, and the Chris Pine movie, they keep trying to make them contemporary settings for the story, which puts the story farther and farther away from Genesis. And
it does. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that after the passing, I don't remember exactly when Tom Clancy passed away, but after he passed away, it sort of the machinery kept working. So they kept trying to make this Jack Ryan the next James Bond character. And yet another movie that Ben Affleck got cast in, like Batman, So you've got Jack Fleck. I don't know what you'd want to call him.
Jack Fleck.
But I like Some of All Fears in a way, but it is not, in my opinion, like a great Jack Ryan film.
Well, people have gotten confused with it. I was just in a conversation on Twitter yesterday about it, where somebody said, "Hey, I don't understand why this movie is a sequel in the film series when it's actually one of the first books that was written before the other films came out. In other words, it was before Hunt for Red October and before Patriot Games and all that stuff." And I said, well, it's a reboot in the movie series because you have Morgan Freeman playing the James Earl Jones character. And James Earl Jones died in Clear and Present Danger from cancer. Thank God he didn't die in real life. Glad he's still with us. But his character in the movie died. And so, it was an attempt at a reboot. And then the Chris Pine movie was an attempt to reboot that reboot. And now the new streaming series reboots the reboot of the reboot.
All right, show of hands out there. Has anyone seen the new Amazon series for Jack Ryan.
Both seasons.
Okay.
Blaze says season 1 was pretty good.
Yes.
Okay.
agreed.
So yeah, that's exactly where I was going. Season 1 was amazing, and I was
Season
100%
Nah.
on board. I was like, they're finally getting a modern take on this character really well, and he was really likable. Like Jack Ryan's always been this guy who, whether you don't like him for his Ivy Leagueness, which he always kind of just dripped of, the new version of him wasn't quite as bad in terms of like, oh, I went to one of the best schools ever and I'm great. But he had a heart, and his relationships were charming and interesting. And then in season 2, it's like they just sucked the soul right out of him.
It was
And he was just like a killing machine.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, we got to make him more Jason Bourne. And I'm not dogging Jason Bourne with that statement, but I am just kind of saying like they kind of forgot the differences between the two characters a little bit.
Right.
The only thing good was they kept the same actor.
Yeah.
Wicked Person says there's no real successful Canadian spy franchise. I would love to see a Canadian spy. To your point, Wicked, but he says, so we kind of have to choose Bond or Bourne. I prefer Bond.
Yes. Well, hello.
Well, you could always
I definitely don't. I prefer Bourne 100%.
You could always watch the Panther X series, which is shot in Canada.
There's a lot shot in Canada.
Well,
Stargate.
Michael,
X-Files.
now that that's sort of been broached, one of the things that I do associate with Canada, especially during World War II and other times, is their special services and the roles that they played. It seems like they would be maybe the reason why we don't have a story like that is they're so successful at keeping those operations and efforts secret.
Right.
Like the whole idea is don't think of Canada as the place that produces this type of bad awesomery. When in fact they do frequently.
No one sees you coming, because the good spy is someone you don't see coming. So with that wonderful Canadian accent, people would be like, he can't possibly be a spy. And you're totally a spy.
No one expects a Canadian.
Not the Mounties.
Matt Movie says, I'd say Jack Ryan wins, especially if it's Alec Baldwin or Harrison Ford.
I like this is where we're different. I liked the Baldwin portrayal a lot for Jack Ryan.
Well, Jim says, I prefer Bourne. The idea of an ultra competent agent who has gone off the reservation while being haunted by a past he can't remember is interesting. I agree with that. Like, I really like the idea that, they use one of the few times where amnesia is used in an interesting way and not just like a soap opera kind of a way. Like, that is, instead of having an actual character arc where he changes himself, it's more that his character arc is him discovering who he is.
Like Total Recall.
Kind of like
Get
Total
your
Recall.
ass to Maz.
They feel different though for some reason.
But I feel like
Get
you
your
have a
butt to
lot
Romania.
more when I watch it, I'm a lot more invested in the character himself. And I sort of feel like a connection with him. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like I can empathize with him. And so I'm like, it's pulling me along and I'm getting completely wrapped up in the story. Whereas with Jack Ryan, I feel like I'm sort of more passively watching an actioner type of movie. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying it's a very different feeling of involvement. I feel the same way when I watch Bond. It's like, depending on the Bond movie, it's like, well, that's a cool gadget, and that's a cool car, and that's a cool gun, and that's a cool fight scene. But I don't ever feel like personally like I can empathize or connect with Bond because he's completely not relatable in any way. Whereas Bourne, you can kind of feel like, not that he's relatable in the same way Batman's not relatable, but at the same time, you're kind of like, he's being screwed over, and we all know what that feels like.
I think for a lot of us, there's a line between who we were when we were younger and Jason Bourne. Like, there's a path where we could have become that.
Really?
Like, he volunteered for, got the training for, and became a part of that. Whereas Jack Ryan, I think, was on a different life path. He had
that's the thing. You can
better education and better society around him.
You can relate to Jack Ryan just like you can relate to Jason Bourne. It's just you relate in different ways to like Jack Ryan. You can always relate to being dragged into a situation that you don't feel trained for, equipped for, or even wanting to be in at all. You can also relate to the fact that maybe you're the more you're not the field guy. Like, you're the more like. Example, when you're working in a company, any company, and you're not on the actual frontline sales team, and the salesmen are always, and women are always coming at you, like, well, you don't know what it's like out there. And it's like, no, you're right. I don't. Like, that's Jack Ryan's character.
But I also don't know what it's like to get any of the like financial benefit from this company because you're on the sales team and you get all the resources.
This
whereas-
wasn't meant to get this personal.
Anyway, Retro Wrestling Game says, "Hey guys,
When
been a
keeping it
while
real
since I
goes
watched a live stream, but I took the day off from work because it's my birthday."
Happy
Happy
birthday!
Happy birthday.
Anyway,
Hey.
That should be our happy birthday thing. Is just the most lackadaisical,
Yeah.
non-committal.
Ah.
No. Like
birthday.
happy birthday.
we could do it like they do at O'Charlie's, which I learned when I used to work there. We could do the song.
No, because now that's
Happy birthday.
that's copyrighted by
Really
O'Charlie's.
glad you came. Hey, happy birthday
And-
from Retro Blasting's game.
And,
Hey.
and now we're demonetized.
No, they don't have any copyright to that.
No, happy
We-
birthday cannot be a copyright.
we need to do
The
need to-
actual birthday song is.
It is
though.
actually.
Yeah.
By who?
I don't know the name, but it is. Like,
is,
You
yeah.
can't
People-
sing happy birthday.
That's why
on
they
shows.
don't
Like-
sing happy birthday. They sing those little dumb
a
songs.
year
I
from
call
now.
farce.
A year from now, I want people to be
No,
like,
it
I got a
is.
dispassionate happy birthday shout out from RetroBlasting.
Okay.
Happy birthday.
Wicked Person says the Canadian Intelligence Service is so good that I'll bet none of you even know what their agency is named. Meanwhile, spying all the live long day.
That's true. I don't know what the Canadian Intelligence Service is
I
referred to
don't.
as.
They're called
I
the
don't want to know.
CIA, the Canadian Intelligence Agency.
Well, that's double tricky,
That's
right?
right. I'm just kidding. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
that.
like
Someone
not
blame
knowing
us for
that.
everything.
No, the CIA did that
Midnight's Edge. Hello. Welcome.
to you.
Hey, Midnight
Edge.
Ed.
Are
On
you
the
talking
edge
with
of
your mouth full
midnight.
again?
Yes.
Wow.
Full of pie.
It's a skill. Don't hate. Don't hate. He's just good at it.
Yeah, don't
I know
hate.
What it is. Something
Yes,
about it.
Midnight's Edge, that's correct. Happy Birthday is no longer copyrighted, but for many years it was. And people used to make a big deal out of it. Although I don't know that there were ever any actual prosecutions, but people
Did
talk
it
about
actually
all the
get
time.
public domain finally?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, I just grew up knowing that you could not sing that on television
Yeah.
legally.
Legally. So,
You're talking about the different identities of the different franchises. You just mentioned how with certain franchises, because you don't feel a connection to the character or the character gets recast a lot, you're just focusing on the plot itself, the gadgets, maybe a good action scene. So that begs the question, talking about recastings and everything. Who is your favorite Jason Bourne?
you have moon pie all over your
I don't care.
That's not an answer. Are you dodging the question?
Well, I mean, aren't there only
That's
two?
the joke of the question. However, there is Jeremy Renner, who was another Treadstone operative in
Yes.
the Bourne Legacy. Now, I know that nobody's going to say that that's their favorite Jason Bourne film, not because of Jeremy Renner, but because it was sort of.
think I've seen that.
It was a different direction,
Yeah.
different
It's-
style.
I knew
to
it
it.
was.
The Bourne Legacy is like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It comes with every gift set, but nobody watches it. It's the freebie that you can put your RC
I
on.
watched
Kind
half
of-
of it.
I kind of enjoy Matt Damon in general, but I definitely love him as Jason Bourne.
He is good.
And I could literally, anytime I see that movie on, I'm like, ooh, and I just sit down and watch it. Like,
Or you're in the other room and you hear.
Oh my God. I love it.
The
love it.
soundtrack to that movie is one of my
I
favorite
love
soundtracks.
it. I wish
of
that there
all
was a
time.
great video game of Jason Bourne. It seems like that would be like the ultimate video game,
Especially
experience.
now with the modern sort of
With, like,
Zero Dawn Horizon.
Can you
kind of
imagine how
Horizon Zero Dawn?
badass
Dyslexic
that would
with
be? Oh, I would play that game. All right, Master Son says in the books they make Jack Ryan Jr. more of a James Bond or Jason Bourne character. John Clark is the real star of the Jack Ryan series.
Wow. John Clark. I'm gonna have to
Same here.
go finally like really because I read the Clancy stuff when I was in like a teenager, like early teens.
Yeah. Me
So
too.
I'm gonna have to reread them.
Yeah, I think the last one that I read was the one where he became the president. Spoilers.
Hmm.
And then I went, okay, they've jumped the White House.
Yeah,
here
because he
a little
became president after Clear and Present Danger,
I'm
right?
wearing this
Yes.
shirt, Midnight's Edge, because we had originally a different topic, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say what that topic was, or
Well.
I know you've just got your mouth full of moon pie. Am I allowed to say what the topic was?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, why not? Why don't we just make a competition here?
What?
Go ahead and go.
So we were initially going to talk about fast food toys, like McDonald's toys, like from the 80s and stuff like that. But Michael, as per usual, can't find all of his stuff that he was going to put on the table. So, but
Michael, welcome
you can
to
flip me
Bust.
off. It doesn't change. The point is that AC/DC is like the fast food of metal bands, right? Like, so I put on the shirt ironically for like the 3 people who would get that joke. And so I still got to tell my joke, so that's fine.
Very nice.
Randall says Matt Helm movies are parodies of Bond, like in like Flint, Austin Powers, and Casino Royale. The Matt Helm books are serious, like a John le Carre
Really?
book.
Yeah, but the thing about
I really like John le Carre. Can we just talk for a minute about Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy?
we can.
Oh,
How
my
much
gosh.
I love that movie.
Go ahead.
I think it's fantastic.
Go ahead.
Do talk about it.
Okay, so there's a lot of people who like he's always
And
denied
Worf.
it for years and years, whether he was in the intelligence services or not. But John le Carre writes some of the most detailed and interesting, and almost not from the action perspective, but just the action is all happening sort of in the espionage, in the mines, in the planning and the execution of the different spy techniques. It's a very different look at the world of like a James Bond or a Jason Bourne, where you're kind of at the desk at Treadstone, and where the Spectre for James Bond is this organization that he's constantly fighting and who is torturing him. With John le Carre's books, you have the character of Smiley, who's sort of hit their adversaries from a distance. So it's very Cold War. They're aware of each other by the effects that they have on the world around them, but they don't really ever until maybe the end. Don't want to spoil anything for an older book series, but they don't really get to see each other again. They do meet early on until the very end of the series. They just see sort of like they're fighting each other in this like 200,000 mile away chess game constantly. So
it's like Khan and Kirk in Wrath of Khan.
yeah, very much, where they're both sitting in their executive seats, giving the orders that are directly affecting the others' armies and forces that are operating.
Jason says they'd make a Jason Bourne video game, but with all the action shaky cam, no one would see what they were doing to play. That's really true in the second movie. Like, it's really bad, but not so much in the first and third installment, I find.
The third installment, director Paul Greengrass was told to tone it down from the second film because Doug Liman directed the first movie. Then he went on to produce the other 2. And when they brought in Paul Greengrass for Supremacy, he was just like, shake the camera, shake the camera.
It's crazy. There's the scene where they're inside that apartment. And I mean, it is so bad in that particular sequence that it's a real shame because there's a lot of great fight choreography that's going on in that scene, but you can't see any of it because they're literally doing this
It's
to
like
the
watching
camera.
Transformers fight. And
Yeah.
Oh, all you see is just like metal
just
by.
going.
It's like, oh my
Yeah, it's
God.
like,
So
why?
this is an excellent point to bring up. The James Bond, especially modern James Bond movies, owe a lot to the Bourne identity and the film style, the fighting choreography that happened there. I think that was like a water change for action fighting in movies, and just the grittiness and the realism and the fact that you would see 2 fighters get gassed just after 1 or 2 minutes of fighting. You would actually see the effort it takes to keep that level of performance up.
Right.
And when you watch, especially Casino Royale, the opening scenes, it feels very much like a send up to the fights that happen in the Bourne identity.
Well,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Does John Wick count as a spy?
No,
Like,
he's not a spy. He's
an
like,
assassin.
which I guess Bourne is an assassin.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
John Wick is the
feel-
fast food of this genre.
I
Yeah,
love John Wick.
so
I
your
enjoy
t-shirt-
I enjoy
t-shirt
AC/DC
is still
too, though.
relevant.
But
See, the thing about it that I was just thinking is Bourne and Ryan are the modern analogs. I know Bond is still around, but they're the modern analogs of Bond and Michael Caine's Ipcris File. So Michael Caine's Ipcris File series of movies, of which there were 3, are films about a guy who's more of a thinker spy in the Cold War, behind the scenes, whereas Bourne is more of an action guy like Bond was. So
okay, I've got some super chats. Gunstar says, I love Harrison Ford's Jack Ryan because he's essentially Steve Rogers with smarts instead of strength. But both are unwavering Boy Scouts. That is kind of a nice thing about him for sure. And I have another one. Actually, I have several more.
Yeah,
Scott says, if anyone is really interested in the first Matt Helm movie, The Silencers, it's currently included if you have Amazon Prime.
oh,
We'll
cool.
check
I'll check that out.
And it's going to do the flippy thing. Raymond gave us a $100
What?
super chat.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Thank you, Raymond. That's very kind of you,
I
sir.
feel like
Thanks.
we should all get up and do a little dance for Raymond.
No kidding.
Happy birthday.
To
Yeah. No, but seriously,
Raymond
thank
says, "Hi all. For me, cinematically, due to Bourne's background with people constantly trying to kill him, I see him primarily as the assassin he is. Ryan, as an analyst, thinks his way through a situation even when he's not prepared. I just find Ryan more well-rounded."
you.
Mhm.
I totally see that. And I grew up without Bourne, but I had Ryan. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you because you gave us $100 super chat.
I actually
Wow.
agree, though. I think the situations that Ryan's trying to figure out or overcome are always, to me, something that seems more relevant.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I especially like that he wasn't prepared for a lot of those things.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking of him slinking through the submarine
Mhm.
against a trained killer, and he's just trying to remember what he learned in the Marines and apply it in the moment. But,
Yeah.
he's sitting there surrounded by nuclear weapons, with the classic line, "Be careful what you shoot at."
Well, it's also like
next time, send a report.
in Clear and Present Danger, he just goes down to Central America
Yeah.
unprepared because he's like, I know something's going on and I'm just going
Oh
to
yeah,
fly
he just
down
hops
there.
a flight and he just goes.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out. And I love it. He walks right up to the door of the mansion of the biggest cocaine dealer. And he's like, "My name's Jack Ryan. No, I do not have an appointment." And they're like, "What?
What
Yeah.
is going on? here?"
Yeah.
But by the same token, with Jason Bourne, it's amazing because he thinks he's unprepared, but he discovers that he is in the moment. His
Right.
reflexes are there, his abilities are there, and then he keeps finding out. It's like he's like Harry Potter. He's just like,
I mean,
can
much
do
like
magic.
Rey in The Force Awakens, he's very much like, "Oh my gosh, I can do this."
But
No.
with Jason Bourne,
It's not like that at
that's
all.
rough. That's a rough comparison.
No,
At least
it's not.
at least there is a reason that makes sense in your head why he just has amnesia.
Oh no,
And then
yes,
the muscle
absolutely,
memory is
yes.
there whether he remembers he has it or not.
Because the whole-
Rey,
The
Yeah.
writing is
being-
not just weak.
I know No, what I'm saying is, yes,
Weak sauce.
Bourne's entire story is about him figuring out legitimately
That's literally
how
what
he
I
can
said
do all
earlier,
these
yes.
things.
and he's been almost
Mm.
programmed through kind of high-tech modern training techniques. So
Right.
it makes sense that he would not necessarily have the cognitive memory of that he could do
Right.
some of these things.
Right.
Whereas with Rey, she just has every Jedi before her who's whispering in her ear and telling
Yeah,
her
no,
how to
a
use the
more
Force.
fair analog for Rey would be Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but I just like Buckaroo Banzai.
I-
Oh my god. We tried to watch it last night, you guys.
Did you try hard enough? I need you to try harder.
I could have plowed through the rest of it, but Michael was like falling asleep, and I was like, I'm not watching this by myself. I have
It
to watch it with somebody.
was so fan wanky. It was like somebody was like,
It's-
"I want to be a ninja rock star brain surgeon."
that
It's
crazy?
like, what?
That is so
Michael
crazy.
said, Michael goes, "Did an infant write this movie?" And I was like, I think so.
Someone give that infant $1 million because that is such a fun movie.
If you can even figure out what's happening. Like, I feel like I'd have to watch it 7 times to
It's
even put it together.
interdimensional science fiction. I mean, mere mortals like us
No.
can't
Come
comprehend
on,
the whole
that
story.
movie was featured in Ready Player One majorly. How can it not be good?
Everything was featured in
You've
Ready
just
Player
proven
One.
every.
Everything was featured in Ready Player
Scott
One.
Hughes, my good friend, says Point of No Return is definitely a great spy movie and often forgotten. I feel like I could do like so many hours of Point of No Return. I think that's why he's talking about it.
Mhm.
Point of No Return, La Femme Nikita, and then the TV show La Femme Nikita, which I watched religiously throughout the 90s,
Mhm.
all the way through all the seasons, even when it like really jumped the shark and got crazy. But yeah, I mean, that show was super Canadian and had some really Canadian local bands too, by the way, that I enjoy even to this day. Rose Chronicles, anyone?
It sounds like a really great Nintendo game.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds like a
Final Fantasy 12.
It
Rose
sounds like one. It
Chronicles.
sounds like one of those fantasy book series at Barnes and Noble that you never
Oh.
picked up.
Oh,
Yeah.
with like the fake wax seal
Yeah,
on the top of
Rose
it.
Chronicles Volume 3.
And there was like a pen, but it's a feather.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's some calligraphy.
Ugh.
Oh, those are the best.
Jason says Ready Player One more or less emptied the 80s refrigerator into a bowl and shoved it in a microwave.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then never opened the microwave.
Mm.
Like it's still there to this day.
Wrapped it in tinfoil
Oh,
first.
Smelling
And then
like
just
80s.
like, let's see what kind of fireworks come out of this.
Yee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think being in that movie should count against you in points, because I feel like they just threw everything into that movie they could get away with, except for what was in the book. They just Spielberged it out.
Thanks, Spielberg.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So where do we see these two franchises going at this point? I know that Jack Ryan has a series, so it's obviously found a way. But like Bourne, for example,
Well, it had, but it fell on its face in season 2.
I was
in
fixing
my
to say,
opinion.
is there even a season 3
There's
in the works?
I don't see
even
how.
know.
And I feel like they rushed season 2. It felt like they couldn't get all the actors back, so they just went with the ones that they had
Well,
contracts.
I felt
for.
like, we can only shoot in this one hotel, so we're going to shoot 8 of the 10 episodes in this one hotel lobby.
Yeah, it's just going to be conversations in this lobby.
Right?
Oh, that's my favorite book, Conversations in the Lobby. I love that Tom Clancy novel.
Gerbrecht says, watch the Buckaroo Banzai DVD with the Pinky Carruthers little known facts subtitles. It's like pop-up video and treats the movie like a documentary.
well, you would have to, because I would sit there going, why would they write a script like this?
I feel like it's one of those things that's so bizarre that it's like trying too hard to be
You mean
bizarre.
like the
and
alien from LA?
Yeah, but you sit through Neil Breen.
well,
That's
that's kind of different because he
Look,
tell me
literally has
again how
some
that's
sort
better.
of
no Neil
mental
Breen.
illness.
Neil
me-
Breen
tell
is
me
mental
again how
illness.
that's
Neil
better.
Breen is mental illness.
Oh,
That
are we
is
going
like-
for sympathy? Am I the jerk now?
Not
for
sympathy. No, not
insulting
no,
Neil
not
Breen?
I'm not
Don't
saying.
do this
He
to me.
legitimately is trying to make a good movie, whereas they were trying, like we talked about earlier, to make a Napoleon Dynamite weird movie. And then everybody, like, if you don't like it, then you're just not cool. It's one of those movies that's like so cool and so.
I could say the fact that you guys aren't cool kind of supports that theory. Straighten my tie.
I mean,
Future wear.
I've never been cool. I'm used to it by now. I'm in my 40s and
All
I've
right,
never been
folks,
cool.
You should not aspire to be cool. So I don't want to give that impression.
No.
You should do your best to be yourself.
Oh, I do my best.
Like what you
I
like.
feel like cool is just sort of overrated, and
Unless you're LL Cool J.
Unless you're Buckaroo Banzai, in which case.
And then you can dance while you walk. It's impressive.
it's just I don't understand. The whole thing can be summed up for me as I don't understand. Doesn't mean it's bad, just means I don't understand.
That's fair.
Wicked Person says the premises are I guess the premise is too far fetched for the 21st century. Your government spying, how would that ever happen?
That
I-
seems
I
improbable.
think honestly, like that's part of the reason why a lot of these things don't work anymore. Not just the Cold War, but like we all know we're being spied on by like our cell phones
and our Alexa.
and like everything.
Please
Sorry.
don't say the wake words.
But it's
on the live
always
stream.
it's always to with that stuff, it's always to sell you something.
Well, it's not just to sell you
Alexa,
stuff.
execute Order 66.
Oh my God.
I again must advise you all to please don't say the wake words on stream.
You're not the
Zacharis,
boss of me.
I am
Zacharis
not.
says,
I am
Michael, you're
absolutely
cool,
not.
but Tim is cooler.
That's true.
Mm,
That's true.
Thank you.
he's ice cold.
I am really not.
Very chilly. It's true,
Maki says Harriet the Spy. You know, I really love Harriet the Spy. I feel like it's one of those forgotten little movies that people don't love, but I loved that movie from the beginning. But
I missed that one.
you did?
Yeah, I did. I missed Harriet the Spy.
Michelle Trachtenberg and a very young Michelle Trachtenberg, and unfortunately Rosie O'Donnell, but
She was
Michelle
very funny.
She was quite funny, and she was a great nanny in that movie. Like she was, you
Dude,
know.
Rosie O'Donnell was one of my favorite comedic actors in the 80s.
In the 80s, she
Yeah.
was hilarious.
Yeah, she,
And then she got political.
Bum, 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 bum.
but she helped Chris O'Donnell get started, so we have her to thank for that. Thanks again.
Tim Hayes, thanks for the kind words. Appreciate that, man.
It's funny because I kept thinking that you had seen Buckaroo Banzai,
Mm-mm.
and like I was like, I'm gonna watch this weird movie because people talk about it on the live stream all the
seen it?
time and all
Mhm.
this kind of stuff. And I assumed that it was something more than it is. And so when I watched it, I was like, have I been punked like all these years? Like, what am I watching right now?
I'm starting
Dude,
to feel
Jeff Goldblum as the sort of accidental cowboy
No,
is
I
one of
know.
my favorite
No,
things in that
I
movie.
get it. I
It's
get
so awkward and so very strange.
It's-
why
I
is he
also saw the
dressed
movie-
like a cowboy?
Why does it matter why he's dressed like a
Well,
cowboy?
Because-
what year is that movie?
84, 85?
Who cares?
Yeah,
The
they're
movie, look, I know what you're saying,
I mean, come on.
but they're not dressed cool in that movie. Movies have to have.
How do you, that's your opinion.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna
Here
look
I'm
we
going to
go.
call Mahler right now. Mahler, if you're out there,
Is he your new favorite expert?
he is my new favorite everything.
I can't wait to see who it is next week.
I don't know why you were trying to get on my shit list today, Aaron, but you are.
It just got real.
Oh dear, what have I done?
That's funny.
Anyway, Zathra says really good point. Garrick was a better spy than Bourne or Ryan.
Oh,
Ah.
well, yeah.
Tim,
Everybody
Good
loves
point.
Garrett.
Any thoughts
I
on
do
that
love
from the
Garrick.
DS9?
I agree. Garrick was amazing. One of my favorite characters.
He's one of my
ever.
favorite characters too.
I love I one of my favorite scenes is when he's in the runabout in the Gamma Quadrant right before the big Dominion War happened, and he actually convinces Worf that he wanted to go into Starfleet, and he's not, and he's like, "Why do you lie?" And he's like, "Well, any good spy has to practice." I mean,
I would say
it
though,
was wonderful.
I would argue that that Garrick is more of a Smiley from John le Carre's novels than he is a Bourne or a Bond or.
Well,
a-
I mean, I would look at a Jason Bourne or even a Jack Ryan, and I wouldn't fear for my life. If Garrick smiled at me, I'm gonna be like, "I'm dying tonight."
yeah, but it wouldn't even necessarily be Garrick that did it. It would be
Midnight
That's what I'm
Edge.
saying.
It would be his Jason Bourne or his Jack Ryan. that did
Midnight's
it.
Edge says, "Hey, I know Mahler, and you're lucky. I have been obsessed with Mahler's like videos. Michael will tell you for like couple
It's
weeks
true.
now. Like I literally every single night, I'm just like, I just want to binge watch Mahler like all night long. I don't care which one. I just have to watch it.
That's why I'm teasing her. I will probably end up also watching endless hours of
Oh my
Mahler
god!
videos,
And there's
just
so
from what
much,
she's
and
told
it's
me
so
about them.
good. Like so good. Anyway,
It's definitely
it's very
Aaron.
Melinda.
It's the kind of guy who twists the Rubik's cube over and over and over to just show every corner and every color of every scene in any movie he hates.
Hyper analysis is like my favorite thing in the world because it's legit how my brain works. And so I'm like, that guy gets my brain. Like I feel like I could really talk to him. Like I don't
Not
know.
my
maybe
husband,
not.
Michael. Mahler.
Oh my
Mahler
gosh.
for sure. He's like, I don't know. He was probably
Mahler
born-
talks-
At least until Sylvester Stallone comes back around.
Mahler talks to me about movies. You and your future fashion can go to hell.
I will not comply, says Aaron. Just call her Melissa. He's already been
Oh.
trying stuff all
Oh.
day with me. I don't know
He
why.
has. Aaron has just been kind of like, which is
Or
great.
I
He
don't
knows,
know.
like-
I think I've been perfectly reasonable. I have no idea why you are so frustrated with me.
Did you see Midnight's Edge's comment?
LOL. He's called the long man for a reason. No, I'll have to take your word for that one, my friend. But I was just like, I
Thanks for
looked over
taking
at
the eye
Michael
of
the other day. I was
Sauron
like,
off
do
of me.
you know Mahler? He was like, well, I know people who know him.
I was on a live stream with him a few years
I'm
ago.
very important, and I know people.
No, she asked me, and all I said was I was on one live stream with him. I didn't know him. He wasn't his live stream. It was Jeff Hicks' live stream, and that's been it. I haven't spoken to him since. It was probably my mistake for not staying connected.
He's very cool, is all I can say. All right, Wicked Person says, I deeply wish I could hire Mahler to phone parents for me to explain in great detail why I've had to fail their children in my English classes.
Oh my gosh.
That would be
8
epic,
hours
man.
later
That
on the-
would be epic. Oh my God. All right. Connor says, hey Siri, play Kylie Minogue.
Oh, you guys are now y'all are trying to troll me and get on my bad
I
side.
like that. Please continue to troll Aaron.
Yes.
Now I played my card. Let's see what you guys can come up with.
Oh, it's going to this is going to be a glorious roast.
Troll Aaron. That is a good one.
Hang on, let me limber up a little bit. This is gonna hurt a little bit. Melinda has called for help.
I'd like to phone a friend, please.
Suddenly, there was no one on Aaron's side.
Jason Anderson says 6 degrees of Mahler separation. I was doing the math. I was like, LinkedIn, how many degrees apart am I? Jody says, on behalf of Midnight's Edge After Dark, what about Mission Impossible?
Oh, good point. Now, Tim is a big fan of that movie series.
Well, let me clarify.
I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm,
No.
I'm just saying you know it real well.
I'm with Melinda that I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan. I don't like a lot of things about him. But I will say the movie franchise, after when Ghost Protocol came out,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I fell in love with the Mission Impossible series. And since then, all of them I think have been just really great. I mean, just super, super well done, well shot. But I guess if you've got the kind of Tom Cruise money and clout, you're going to get that.
Like I was so disappointed because I enjoyed the first one despite it being confusing.
I liked it. No, I love the first one, but it's the second and
the
third
second
one
and third are
just
terrible.
terrible.
And
But
so then there are 3 more after that now.
this
right?
is where I think Michael, I really want to get Michael to watch it, just Ghost Protocol, because still to this day,
Is that
Ghost
the one with Henry
Protocol-
Cavill?
No.
No, that's
Okay.
the last one.
Okay, good, because
It's fine. It's good. But Ghost Protocol is still the best Mission Impossible in my mind, and I'm going to get Michael to sit down and watch it with me at some point.
you guys
Okay.
need to do one of your deconstruction videos.
Yes.
Because
that was really cool.
they're like Indiana Jones. None of them really connect, right? So there's no point in.
There's a little bit of connection, yeah, but it's pretty.
Well, two had nothing to do with
They
one.
sort of hook one on the other, but then they just let it
Yeah,
go.
it kind of gets thin. It's still very
2 had
Mission
nothing to do with
Impossible.
1. 3
Right.
had nothing to do with 1 or 2.
But Ghost Protocol and all the ones after it are kind of loosely connected.
Okay,
but
so Midnight's Edge says he's actually kind of tough to get a hold of, speaking about Mahler, and I can imagine why, because with doing that many hours of editing that has to go into like many hours long episodes of his show, yeah. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey says, which vacuum cleaner would Jack and Jason use?
the Dyson
Probably something that they could like use to, I don't know.
or an
they-
Electrolux.
I'm sure they would have different like approaches because they're very different
Well,
characters.
they would have to use shop vacs, right? It'd have to be a shop.
I think Jason
Well,
would be a shop vac kind of guy.
Jason would like
to get teeth
pick
and,
one,
like,
but he wouldn't
other
remember
parts.
why he
Bodily
picked it.
fluids.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Good point, Melinda. She said Jason wouldn't know why he picked the vacuum he picked. He wouldn't remember.
And it would be a shop vac to get up all the bodily fluids and teeth
Right.
and eyeballs and things that he gouged out with pencils.
Right.
Whereas I think Jack would just hire someone to clean his house.
Jason says, I think the ultimate Aaron troll is saying the movie was better than the book.
Which I said on this stream about the
The Bourne.
Jason Bourne films.
Wolfie says, Luther Sloan, lead of Section 31, made perfect sense that Starfleet would have an organization like that. Boy, they sure ruined
Yes.
that in the new shows, didn't they?
Oh, they did. My God. And I actually got Michael to watch part of the last of season 2 of Discovery, the battle scene where there's all the Section 31. He begrudgingly watched some of it. He got bored.
I was just like, this doesn't feel like Star Trek. This feels
Yeah.
like Ender's Game. Like it just,
Yes, very much.
Yeah.
Very much.
and it's like, why model yourself off that that movie?
What? Uh-oh.
Wicked person says,
no.
Aaron, Ben Affleck as Leto Atreides.
Oh, the best troll ever.
Thank you,
Ben
Wicked.
Affleck, you're cool in my book, but you're no Leto Atreides. I can see Jared Leto as Leto Atreides before Ben Affleck.
Oh, God.
I
That
know.
would be horrible.
He was a tremendous Joker, though.
Hey, by the way, Scott,
I'm trolling
pretty
you.
sure Scott's the one that gave us these, right? Hell Crunch.
I think, yeah,
Yes.
I think it was Scott.
These are like cheese curls.
They're not super
Would you
hot
like
like
one?
I expected.
No, I do not want any spicy anything.
It's not that spicy.
Not after what
We
happened
did
last.
get Michael to eat one of the
She told me about it.
The Doritos. Yeah.
Those are so good, but yeah,
They're
they're
really good,
hot.
but Michael was
These
like,
are
aren't
nowhere
These
near
aren't hot at all, really.
that hot.
World Made of Cardboard says, just joined, got back from Best Buy. They had several action figures, Marvel Legends, Squirrel Girl, and others. They even had several Dyson vacuum cleaners, multicolor animal and V11 and V10s.
Oh,
Sorry, I had to.
I like the original yellow, not the one with the ball that it rolls on, but the original
the
yellow one.
dual tank
That's
one.
old school.
Yeah, not even dual tank.
I ran into that Squirrel Girl action figure set at Target a few months back, and I did a triple take. I was like, wait a minute. I'm less weirded out by the fact that it's this girl with a big squirrel tail, more weirded out by the fact that she comes in this huge box with a scale rideable Vespa motor scooter, like Roman holiday style. And I'm like, what's the deal with this?
I know nothing about that. That's getting into some weird territory for me.
Midnight
The
Sedge
Squirrel Girl?
says,
I don't even know who that is.
I
I'll
saw
be
a bunch of
100%
geode
honest.
figures at Home Depot.
I saw some in my backyard this morning.
At least you can find them.
You know, that brings me to another point. Guys, stop me if you've ever had this happen before, but I walked out
Nice.
into my yard the other day and I was doing some yard work, right?
Mhm.
And like you do, and I picked up some branches and stuff, and then there was this rock sitting there. And I thought, damn, that would make a great pilot for a spaceship.
You know,
You know? Not like any special ship, just one called.
So you want a bumper sticker that says "Rock is my co-pilot"?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I think that would be amazing.
If there's a way to revisit the marketing video for that, that is the most damning part of that whole thing, because they get this.
Was it a real one?
It was a real marketing video from Lucas.
Are we sure?
Yes,
Yeah.
they had to pull it down because it got so much instant hate. It was on the official Star Wars
It was
YouTube
like
channel.
the 2020 Rewind YouTube video.
And they found, you know how you can hire voiceover people to do your narration or whatever?
No, I wouldn't know anything.
That's clear. That's clearly what they did. And you hear this. It is. You hear this lady, and she's like, I'm going to paraphrase, but she goes, and they are the pilot of a vessel known simply as the vessel.
You're right. The built-in excitement over what she was about to say was so tangible that it hurt.
Yes,
She thought it was terribly clever.
Way. Like,
you know, the
simply
impression you just did made me think of whatever her name was in Harry Potter.
Dolores Umbridge.
Dolores Umbridge. That's what he
One must not tell lies.
And their navigator Geode, who appears to be a rock. Like, that's literally what it.
But we missed the big hint there. Appears to be.
Yeah, but you know
I
what?
think it's like a rock lord.
I mean, that's clearly what they were going for.
It doesn't matter that the idea is already
dumb.
dead on arrival.
It's dumb.
It's like,
So I predict that at some point in the High Republic, there's going to be a situation and Geode is going to do something. It's going to evolve or hatch or transform and save the day.
I hope,
and it's going to be a big reveal. Does anybody agree?
I think you're right. There'll be a sword in it, and whoever pulls it will be the next Skywalker or the first Skywalker.
I want the pilot of that ship in that moment to say, I had only 2 rules on my vessel. 1, do what I say, and 2, no hatching in my cockpit. That's the line I want.
I want a little like musical interlude that says "Predictions by Tim."
Yeah.
And then like Tim will just like have a side camera where he's talking directly to the camera, like in The Office, and he's just like, I really think
Everything
they're gonna
pauses.
do. And then
What
everything
was that?
pauses
What
like in
was
the
that?
background.
You can
Like,
see
Aaron's my narrator.
You can see us in the background, but we're just eating snacks.
we're just like talking or
just
doing
like
like
hanging
random
out.
stuff.
What was that
It's just, like,
hilarious
right up
jingle
to-
they had like that in movie Oubliette?
Oh yeah, they're like childhood nostalgia.
Yeah, it's really funny.
They have this like great little musical interlude every time they say the
I mean,
words.
look, so
childhood
let's
nostalgia.
go back to Star Trek for a second, okay? One of the most ridiculous things is, I mean, everybody knows that they used to call Gene Roddenberry the Great Bird of the Galaxy,
Which is the dumbest nickname ever.
Well, there is book writings on
true.
because here's a place where the Star Trek books are not as good as the shows, but there is a book where there's a whole planet that ends up being an egg, and the great bird of the galaxy hatches from the egg, and it's this giant flaming bird. And I'm just like, really?
And Dumbledore's
Yeah.
hanging off of its
I was
foot.
gonna
I
say,
guess.
yeah.
But I'm just guessing Star Wars
And
is going to have
Gandalf.
that moment that
Both of them, there's
the
2
rock's
feet,
going to
1 for
hatch
each.
and something's going to
And they're
happen.
both playing electric guitars.
And see,
It's not Christopher Lee.
I want credit for predicting that. I want credit for predicting that.
I want them to just
No, it makes
redo
sense.
I want them to redo the entire pitch. I want them to just admit defeat and just hire The Rock to play the navigator and redo the voiceover so he says, and the navigator of the ship who appears to be The Rock.
And all you get is the look.
And he just turns around and he's like,
The Rock is in everything, and
And
he
I-
really is.
I
And then
want them to gaslight us and try to make us all think that's what they meant the whole time.
and then it just smash cuts to him in
That's
the
what we
ship and he's
said.
like, I think we need to go left.
Peter
He's got a
Venkman,
leisurely list to the
Peter
left.
Venkman says, off topic, any DeLorean updates? No.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's
After
still
I
a
set it on
car.
fire,
Next question.
It's back in the small garage and we are going to be working on it soon.
Michael has a car that appears to be a DeLorean.
But
it's simply known as the
The
DeLorean.
the car. Christian says, greetings from Denmark. I think Breaker and Rock and Roll would make a great spy duo. Any chance of a teaser trailer?
That
Ah,
actually would have been a really good.
we can do
We should
that.
work that
we
into
could.
Iconicon.
We could do some stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, we can do that. Good idea.
Breaker.
And rock and roll.
Yeah.
Are we supposed? How are we gonna be spies? We don't even know half the stuff Snake Eyes does. And then Breaker's just like, we can figure it out.
We'll figure it out. It'll be all right.
Man, I love that music from the Bourne Identity. I'm gonna have to go. I think I have that on iTunes.
You talking about the
I
Paul
am not doing
Oakenfold
a
thing?
shot for shot.
Not
of
necessarily the Ready Steady Go.
with G.I. Joe figures.
Oh yeah, no.
Not after the dominoes.
Well, no. We never do stop motion. That's the great thing about GI Joes. They're so expressive on their own. You just edit it right, and it looks like they're moving.
Yeah.
That is very clever of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Aztec Low says Captain America: The Winter Soldier I thought was like an MCU espionage spy action movie.
No idea
Wow.
what that was.
Uh-oh.
That was the howling of my empty soul.
Which movie again? Oh yeah, The Winter Soldier is a excuse me.
It has that Cold War
Jesus.
magic that I liked.
The Winter Soldier is a great movie on its own. You don't even have to necessarily, I mean, maybe a little bit, but I'm not somebody that thinks that you always have to watch everything in a meta series to get one installment if it's well made enough. And I feel like Winter Soldier is one of the best Marvel movies that stands on its own as a story if you just wanted to
Like
show it to someone.
Ragnarok,
Yeah, like yes.
because I love Ragnarok.
Ragnarok's great.
My
That was
favorite.
smoothly done, Tim.
I love that movie. It's the only modern movie I love that much.
Yeah, the Bourne Identity soundtrack was John Powell. I'm talking about the orchestral score.
Oh, okay.
Not the Oakenfold.
I love that.
I do too.
Ready, steady, go. Boom, boom, boom.
I
If
was
you-
like I'm in an 80s arcade all
If
the
you-
time.
I was listening to that last night, unironically, on my Spotify. I'm not dogging Ready, Steady, Go, but that is not the soundtrack.
If you like Ready Steady Go, you would really love the soundtrack score to Spy Game with Robert Redford and Brad Pitt.
I will have to check that out. Plus, I think those two acting together would be very confusing because I feel like Brad Pitt is becoming Robert Redford as he
I
gets
think that
older.
was part of the reason they
Yeah.
cast them.
Yeah.
I've thought that since he was just a kid in Hollywood. You know,
Mhm.
back when he was a kid in Hollywood.
Master Son says, back on topic, Michael B. Jordan is going to be a great John Clark. I can't wait. Is he going to be?
Oh, is he in the next Jack Ryan season?
Is there going to be more? Are they going to try this time for season 3?
I do love Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, I do too. I think he'll be very cool.
No, this time they'll shoot half of it in a car dealership.
Wow.
I Will Not Comply says, have we ever seen Timothy Ward? Well, I mean,
Sort
I
of.
feel like he's been on. So
After shows.
So Timothy
sure.
Ward doesn't live in the state of Georgia, so he's not
Correct.
able to actually physically come over and be here with us, although he has visited us. But
He appears when he
is in
wants
our
to.
backstage and moderating the chat, and sometimes he has shown up on the after show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He turns his camera on and we
He's
do-
kind of a patron exclusive. I think.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's sort of exclusive.
He's
like
rare.
Michael French Bulldog.
Yeah.
He's
He's a
rare
patron
and
exclusive.
exclusive, and very exquisite. Or exquisite Timothy Ward. Yes.
That's right.
Plus,
What?
we're
What I
upgrading
did?
a lot of his gear.
I'm waiting for you to talk about more about these movies.
Oh.
Yes,
So
Michael, talk more, please.
so I got to say that I'm
you
a
put
little
corn in?
disappointed with everybody out there in the audience because normally
Turn on them, Michael.
no, I'm just saying no, I'm not.
Yes.
Yes.
Let
Go
me,
with your hate.
Wait.
Let it flow
let me
through
let me
you.
ex- let me explain what I mean. So normally when we have a table set up, the comments that first come in are where's such and such, and you forgot to put this on the table, even though I have no idea if you
See,
own it
now
or
you've
not.
started it. and it's
That-
about
no,
to come
but
in.
what? But I said I deliberately put movies up here that aren't Bourne or Ryan films to prompt people to go, why is such and such up there, and why is such and such
So
sitting
now
there?
you know how to perfectly
Mhm.
combat that is to just put random crap on the table, and they'll
Yeah.
be so confused trying to figure out why it's on the table that they won't ask you why such and such is not on the table.
Bionic 6.
Woo. So I just wanted to explain that given that the Bourne and the Ryan films don't necessarily, especially when they're put all in a big set like this, they don't cover the table very well. I thought that I would put other movies in this kind of genre up here just to fill the table out. And so, for example, we have 3 Days of the Condor with
Talk about it.
Robert Redford? Oh, please do.
Well, no, I was going to ask you a little bit more what you love about it.
I don't love anything about this
Okay,
movie.
I didn't want to say
as
It
it
looks
anything.
like it's got Dennehy in it. I mean,
I bought this
what's
movie
there
on.
not to like.
I bought it on DVD around the time that
I was fixing to say what happened a while back.
it was around the time that I got Sneakers on DVD, and the
Okay,
commentary had said we modeled Redford's character in Sneakers, or maybe it was Spy Game. I can't remember, after his character in this. And so I went out and I bought it and I watched it. And just to explain to you how much I didn't enjoy it, this Tim knows me really well. So are you ready for this? In France, they have brought this out on official 4K disc, and you've never heard me talk about that or buy it. And you
I
know
have.
that I will buy 4Ks of movies.
Oh, I know.
So
I
that
know.
should tell you
I know.
how disappointed I was watching that movie.
So, Michael, why you got
well,
an
that's-
HD DVD up there? Like, how do you watch that?
I have a few of those.
I have an HD DVD player
He
upstairs.
has a player for
No
everything.
doubt.
Yep.
Where- do you just have a one that you kept, or
Yeah.
Where does
Well,
one
me and
find
Michael
one now?
agree that HD
Upstairs
DVDs
in our
were a better format.
second.
It's-
I don't
it-
disagree with you on that. And as a matter of fact, I purchased HD DVDs
I
and
did as
HD
well,
DVD
yes.
player.
Yeah.
I was very salty when they.
Mm-hmm.
Wolfie says Timothy Ward is the RetroBlasting clandestine peacekeeping operative. And Wicked Person says Timothy Ward could be a RetroBlasting Patreon tier. And,
Actually,
Like a
that's
whole-
kind of a good idea.
Like a whole. We should probably talk to him about that beforehand, but he'd probably be fine.
and we'll just nominate him for that. Master Son says there is a new series coming out based on John Clark, and Michael B. Jordan is the star. It is on Amazon Prime.
Nice. Cool.
Cool.
Sounds like I get to learn from that character that I didn't read about when I was a kid.
Cool. Lester gives us a $3 super sticker.
Well,
Thank you, Lester.
Thank you very much.
It is super.
It's super duper.
Now this film,
And- Chris Bullard says, Michael, where is Ronin 1998? And
See?
what's in the
started it.
case?
what's in the case?
What's in the case?
Right, from Ronin. I have Ronin over there on Blu-ray. I can bring it over.
It's very good.
No.
Now, you don't like Ronin?
Okay.
How long has it been since you've seen it?
Oh, wow.
So,
It's so good.
so like, how old were you?
I was young.
So now you've grown up and you need to watch it. All right. So just
Okay.
okay.
Timothy
like
Ward
this.
says, Patreon tier. I come over to your house and mow your yard.
I would pay that every week.
Wolfie says, Michael, you forgot. Checks notes. True Lies.
True Lies is not on Blu-ray. Not in this.
So-
Have you
not,
killed people?
Neither is 3 Days of the Condor.
You got to say it though. No, you
oh,
gotta-
it is.
Oh, do you have it?
Is that-
No,
Why
No,
not?
That's not it.
because I
That's
don't
the
like
point.
that. It's on 4K in France. I didn't buy
We
it.
have a new Arnold line that we need you to do.
Okay.
My favorite Arnold line in True Lies. Have you killed people? Yeah, but they were all bad.
Yes, but they were
George-
all bad.
George Aiken says, Ronin is the only film where Sean Bean doesn't die in a shootout.
That's true. That's
Good
true.
point.
He's also
They're here for your bad jokes.
Scott
Why'd you
Hughes
look at
says,
me?
Michael should put the sound of
I always
music.
laugh when I make jokes.
Michael should put the sound of music on the table every time just to confuse people.
I could. Okay, so this
And-
movie.
He
And
could ride his
Bowhead
bike with no
says,
handlebars.
I love 3 Days of the Condor. That movie is why Redford is in Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Redford has gotten a lot of like Spy Game, Sneakers, Winter Soldier. They keep using Redford in these movies because of 3 Days of the Condor. Here's the thing about it. It's not the movie itself like the actual
No,
plot.
it's-
The actual plot's really good. It's the B plot that makes no sense whatsoever, that they make front and center on the artwork. Everything involving him and Faye Dunaway is useless, makes no sense, and gets in the way of the entire movie. And I hated it for that reason. And ugh.
Did you know it's on 4K in France?
It is, and I didn't buy it.
Oh, not yet.
No, never. No, never.
Really?
Really,
Mm,
really, really.
I didn't see that coming. Even with the future wear, I didn't see that coming.
So, lastly, obviously, Spy Game's up here for the same
Lastly.
reason. But lastly, I just want to point out. Well, somebody pointed out Point of No Return. This is a movie I haven't watched yet, but I just bought it, and it's called A Dandy in Aspic. It is Mia Farrow's first movie, but the reason that
Really?
yes,
Okay, I've got to look.
the reason I bought it is on the back of the box, it has a tagline that says, "A double agent is ordered to kill himself." And I was like, oh, I have to see this.
I love the idea of it. Can you imagine James walking into an office and being told he's got to kill James Bond or
Yeah.
whatever his alter ego is?
Yeah.
Did it play out?
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't watched it yet.
I hear that if you spin that around really fast in a little box, it'll
Well,
put pictures on the screen.
I've been a little busy with videos and whatnot, but I want to see it.
Speaking of which, bravo, well done. I watched every second of that. It was good.
Which one?
Your most recent
Oh,
stand-up.
thank you.
I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Even though being in it briefly for like little cameo appearance, I really liked the breakdown and the work you did.
Thanks.
And the editing and everything just really worked really well together.
Thanks. Somebody actually was like, I really feel like you got too many aside clips in this and it's making it a stretch for me to follow.
Everybody has an opinion.
Yeah.
I liked your choices on all those. It was almost like it was the culmination of years of building inside jokes
Mhm.
that the more of your other videos you've watched,
Right.
the more that pays off while you're watching
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah. And I'm, one day maybe there will be a cutaway aside from 3 Days of the Condor in a video. Who knows? Probably
You would
not.
have to watch it again.
Ugh.
But if you did, I think you could get it in 4K and you get that quality level
Can they
right
call
on up
you
there.
maybe?
Oh,
Dun, dun, dun.
Eagles and Cycling says, love the mullet, Michael. And then
Yeah.
all right. You were
George
supposed
Aiken-
to troll me, not Michael.
George Aiken says the mullet is a nod to MacGyver, who made them cool.
That's right. This is just what. So I'm not going to make this a whole story, but normally when I get my hair cut, she cuts it in a way where it all kind of grows out at the same rate. But for some reason, I guess she left the back longer this time, and I wasn't aware because obviously it's at the back. So the back started growing out a lot faster than it normally should, and so now I've got this like MacGyver thing going on. And
I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
thanks.
It feels very authentic.
Melinda's the only one that matters.
I mean, that's always true.
I'll go get my MacGyver jacket. That'll be too hot though.
Master Son says, Bravo 2-0, Sean Bean didn't die in a shootout either.
This
Oh,
shouldn't be
okay.
This
Okay.
hard to think of movies where an actor doesn't die in a shootout.
Because he dies in Patriot games.
Yes, he
He
does.
dies in Lord of the Rings.
Dies in Lord of the Rings. He dies in Game of Thrones.
He dies in Equilibrium.
Equilibrium. I feel like I'm missing a few,
So
but
should we do a live stream of all the movies that Sean Bean dies in?
that'll be no. We should do a Sean Bean live stream.
We should do a Sean Bean. live
Yeah.
stream.
I could just talk about Sean Bean in general. I
Nice.
think I could stand to do that.
I love him in Ronin because he's like this blowhard who doesn't know really anything, but he's pretending he does, and he's always like, "We got the money, we got the guns, job well done, well done." And Robert De Niro's just like, "I'm gonna kill you. Like I'm so sick of you."
A lot of people keep yelling out True Lies, and I'm not really.
True Lies is not on Blu-ray, but it is a movie about a secret agent, and the twist there, of course, is he has a family, but they don't know. It would be like if Jack Ryan was Jason Bourne, but his family didn't know that he was in the CIA at all.
Yeah, but
well,
you gotta
in that case,
love-
he wouldn't know either because
Right.
he's Jason Bourne.
Well, you know,
Oh,
what?
yeah.
we got to
Do
push
it.
all of that off to
Do
the
it
side
slowly.
and bring up Mr. and Mrs. Smith. When we're talking
Oh,
about that
yeah,
genre
we're-
of
Yeah, but
people
they were
who don't.
assassins, not spies.
They were assassins, but they had to do some light spying to get the assassination.
And isn't
done.
that-
But
isn't
I
the-
see your point.
I
see
saw
your
that in the
point.
theater, and but
Jason Bourne's kind of an assassin.
isn't that the twist where it's like they're hired to kill each other?
Like your movie
Yes,
you were talking
like
about,
that-
instead
right.
of killing your alter ego, you're hired to kill your spouse.
Right.
And one of the things that's really strange to me, because the Jason Bourne not novelizations, but novels, while they aren't necessarily that plot line,
Mhm.
there are several scenes in the Jason Bourne novels that echo what you see in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, like all the way down to the Full House teardown.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though it isn't really the same plot, that you could tell they used a lot of the plot devices in that movie. So in a weird kind of way, I've always considered Mr. and Mrs. Smith to be a more accurate Jason Bourne if you take it from the books,
Right.
than the Jason Bourne movies. Still appreciating the Jason Bourne movies more, but Mr. and Mrs. Smith is a lot of fun.
I do love that
to
movie.
watch.
It's fun. It's just a funny movie to watch,
Yeah,
especially when they're.
we need to
fighting.
talk.
Chris says, don't forget John Stamos in Born to Ride from 1991. Nothing like obligatory Harley racers on a World War II spy mission.
Have mercy.
Wow, I'm gonna have to go back and find that one.
Yeah. I
Did
don't
John
remember
Stamos
that
have his
one.
hair? Because that's important. Did he have
He's
his
always
amazing
had
He's
his hair.
always, he
It's a
still
living-
has his hair.
It's
Yeah.
another entity that has latched onto his head. It's actually
It's like Venom.
it's like an alien that just latched on.
It's a symbiote.
I picked this up in the Secret Wars, and now it's my hair.
Sometimes
watched-
it takes over my whole body.
It might be a symbiote, but it might be a parasite.
Right?
Maybe a little of both.
We just watched the movie Parasite 2 nights ago.
Ooh, was that good? I've been
No.
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 Parasite, no, not the one you're thinking of.
I'm thinking of the
The
Korean
one from
director.
1982.
Never mind. No, we're good.
Demi Moore's first role.
Nope, we're good.
It's
Don't do it. I got to remember 82. Don't do it. There's a modern one of it.
that's not the same. It's not the same movie. There's no relation.
I'm trying to remember. If
I was
I've
thinking of
seen
the one
this
that's
now.
like swept that was at the Oscars, the Korean director who
No, that
It's very forgettable. So
yeah, I know what
it's
you're
very
talking about.
literal.
Aaron.
It has a This is nothing like that.
I had
This
this
is
magic
literally
device in my
about a
hand.
guy who has a parasite in his stomach, and it's like
Why would you watch that? Did you watch it over dinner? What did you eat? Was it spaghetti?
what were
I
we
need to
eating?
know.
Burgers, I think.
Yeah.
How many burgers each? 1, 2, 7?
Veggie burgers with fries.
What am I, wimpy? Like,
I mean,
Look, I'm just trying to keep the conversation going here, guys. Did you put mustard on it? What did you put on it? Were there French fries?
I like to watch
just
really
Parasite.
B-level movies, especially from the 80s, because I feel like they capture the 80s a whole lot more than the
Psych.
mainstream ones that are so
Yep.
well known.
mhm.
You know, like Back to the Future is very 80s, but Parasite's 80s on a whole different level.
Like Night of the Comet is
Night
80s.
of the Comet, and we're talking about that because
Not bad.
of a reason that we can't
Right.
really talk about that for. But
You're talking about it because you can't talk about it?
that's right.
Just do 1982.
Hey, I like what this guy has to say.
Randall says thoughts on Man from U.N.C.L.E. with Henry Cavill. Plus, you have my second favorite Bond movie out there. Love Dalton as Bond. Was Bond a spy or an assassin?
Oh, he was a spy.
It depends on what movie you're watching, because in some movies they call him a British assassin, in other movies they call him a British spy. I would
No,
say,
he was a spy with a license to kill.
How
That
is
would
that
be
not
the-
an assassin though?
That's a fair question, but like Tim said, he was a spy, but not all spies had the license to kill. So
Yes.
he could do the spying he needed to do. Frequently, M is asking him for information and is angry when he has killed someone. So his whole purpose isn't just to kill the target, is
Yeah, I
to
don't
get
remember that.
whatever he needs. Also, Timothy Dalton is a very good James Bond.
yep.
Peter Venkman says, "Do you have a favorite Clancy novel?"
I still love Hunt for Red October. I listen to it. Now I've gotten to where I listen to it on
I've
Audible
never read the books.
more than
Watched
once
the
a year.
movies.
I look, there was something about Patriot games that resonated with me, and I freely admit it's because I was in the UK in the early 90s, and there were IRA bomb threats at those tube stations, and we were caught several times and having to be rerouted because they were having teams of bomb guys come in because of threats that have been made, and it was at the height of it at that point. And so that book, reading it at that time, Melinda made a joke on the last live stream with Tim. They were both joking, why does Michael like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves so much? Well, that movie also, which was set in
'Cause he
England.
loves Kevin Costner.
No,
I mean, Kevin
I
Costner
was-
is an amazing British person.
I was-
Have you
I
noticed
was-
that he's great and everything he's.
I
British.
was living in the country where the movie was shot and made. And so I was seeing all that stuff. Same thing with Patriot games. So that's the one that I really, connect to the most.
It's okay.
The movie has a
It's
totally
okay.
different character.
It's
to
okay.
you.
Why are you giving me the eye?
Because you're looking at me like you're about to say, it's okay. Not.
Wicked
mean,
Person says, at the
yeah.
movies, seeing Fellowship of the Ring, after having seen Ronan and Goldeneye, my friend shouted to Frodo, "Don't trust that Sean Bean guy. He's always the betrayer." Then Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
which I haven't seen, but presumably it's the same thing.
No, he's a pretty great guy in Game of
I'm
Thrones.
waiting to see Sean Bean
he?
and
Yeah.
and
believe
and
you.
Yeah, he's
Christopher
a
Walken as
real,
family man.
Archon.
I don't think there are any good characters.
be
in
really
Game of
good.
Thrones.
Right, but I
All
mean, if
kind of-
you measure them all up next to each other, he's one of the stand-up good, does the right thing kind of people in a weird way, but yes.
Tim Hayes says 3D Parasite, Charles Band production. Sorry you didn't like it, Michael and Melinda. I mean, I did like it to a degree. Michael was just like, this is not good at all.
Did you watch it in 3D?
Melinda has Tim, just so you know, Melinda has a very high tolerance for bad movies, like a very high tolerance. She wasn't not enjoying herself. She kept looking at me knowing that I was miserable, trying to watch it and getting even more enjoyment on top of the.
This
like,
is one of
She
these
made all of us watch that thing.
Terror Vision.
I can't even remember the name. She
I've
made
watched
all
it
of it.
more
And
than
she
once. It's
laughed
good.
so hard
It is good.
I like
through that movie because all of us were just sitting there going,
I legitimately enjoy watching
B movies.
B-level movies that are not big budget, Hollywood. I mean, those movies have their place, but I feel like there's something almost more special about a B movie that has a super low budget, and sometimes they fail
Yes.
on multiple fronts, but they have to. I feel like they kind of have to try harder. They're the underdogs, and they're
Plus, Uncle Rico
It's-
from Napoleon Dynamite was the punk rock boyfriend in Terror Vision,
Yeah.
which was very interesting to me.
oh, that's right.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
plays lots of weird different characters. The real genius, he was Laszlo, hid in the closet.
So yes, Midnight's Edge, the 3D Parasite. So it says 3D. I looked it up after the movie. I just watched the movie. I literally went through my Amazon Prime and found an 80s movie that I had never seen that was kind of a horror sci-fi looking movie. And I watched it and I was like, wow, it's kind of, some of the stuff is really interesting in it. Some of it was like really weird. But then I saw it was like 3D and I'm like, what about this would have made for good 3D?
Well,
Like,
it's
was it actually in
It's like
3D?
the best 3D movie ever, Jaws. I mean, come on.
No, this movie this was like literally a bunch of people just standing around in rooms talking. So I don't really understand where the 3D aspect would come in.
I think the best 3D
I guess
movie
there
of
were
all
a
time
couple where
was either Avatar or the last Harry Potter.
Parasite jumps at them a couple of times, and it looks kind of like a really cheap looking alien meets a ghoulie.
Mhm.
But there were only like 2 or 3 of those little jump scares in the whole movie. So I would feel like it would be a huge letdown if that were the
Every movie I've ever seen designed for 3D was an absolute steaming, burning
very
bag of.
gimmicky.
Yes.
Very.
Yes. I actually am furious at the Harry Potter franchise for making
Yeah.
the final movie in 3D. I'm so mad that there are members of my family that still bring it up at Thanksgiving dinner, how angry I was that movie opted to go 3D and then use those gimmicks of like, I'm going to levitate something towards you in the audience and then back into the room with Harry and his friends. And I'm like, oh my God.
And then I'm going to quote Fry from Futurama. That seems a little unnecessary.
Yes, constantly, nonstop.
Zantara says, I like
Shut up and take my money."
1982's Parasite. Glad to know someone else has seen it. LOL. Yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of like weird horror movies, but I watched them all in the 90s, and some of them I barely remember. So I'm kind of trying to go through now for a variety of reasons and rewatch some of the old movies, which at the time I didn't realize. I didn't think about the fact that there were differences in like A-level movies and B-level movies. I just watched movies that I would rent from the video store. And so like, to me, these were all just movies, and I didn't see them as like second-class citizens, which everyone now sort of treats like all the music that I like and all the movies that I like as like, oh, well, those are like B-level things. And it's like, well, that kind of makes me love them more. So I would much rather spend the time that I have left on this earth watching stuff that's more like that than like Endgame.
Way to
That's
make
just
that
my take.
morbid.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
I can
was
always
gonna
do
bring
that.
it back to death.
Ted Fisher says, really enjoy the discussion topics with the channel and the effort put into making good content. Thank you to all of you. You're very welcome, Ted. Thank you for the super chat and for watching.
That's very good. Sometimes we feel like we're taking a risk when we go harder on the discussion topics for live stream.
I'm starting to understand why there was a comment in the last live stream. Somebody just said, I was watching it this morning. Somebody said, I usually watch the live stream from last Saturday.
Tell us what they said.
He
likes to be able to read the comments because he
Yeah,
can't I
yeah.
don't let him look at
He
my
said
screen during-
it was this comment that said Melinda is the best part of the RetroBlasting. Melinda's the best part of this channel by a mile or something like that. And I was just kind of sitting there going,
Michael always gets so mad, and I'm always secretly flattered when you guys say that. I'm
well,
like,
no,
"Oh."
I'm not saying you don't deserve such compliments,
Yeah,
but it's
you
like
are.
it's such a
Yeah, you
backhanded compliment. It's like Melinda is great to the detriment of the rest of you. All of you can go die in a fire. And it's
I
like,
think
why
that
don't
might be a little.
it's like, why don't you just say Melinda's
I think that's
great?
An extreme
Like,
reaction, Michael, to that comment. But
I get hate all the time. I reflexively wonder if it's hate.
That's fair. That's fair.
Precious.
I know. That's good because
I do like
all
to
I've
get
got are
verbal
jokes.
praise, though. Like, I'm a
Dad
verbal
jokes.
praise kind of person. So if you
I
have
I
any,
just don't care.
I do. I care a lot.
Oh, I don't care anymore. I'm beyond caring.
It took a while to get there.
It would for anybody that was on the front lines. Would have been for you too.
Aztec Los says, I like the Bourne movies, but it seems directors took the action fighting style of shaky cam and close-ups to hide lazy action.
Eventually, I don't think that's true for the first installment.
And I also don't.
The shaky cam is the worst in the second film.
It is in the second film. And also, I don't think any of the Bourne films actually had bad choreography. The whole point of every Bourne movie is that there isn't overly choreographed violence. It's
Shaky
real.
cam, period.
It's realistic.
It's frustrating. I agree that the shaky cam in that second movie is very, very
When
frustrating.
did they start
but
doing that? They started doing that, what, in 2010-ish?
Mhm.
No, it was before that.
Oh, there've been handheld camera shots.
Well, I
since
mean,
the
but
beginning,
I'm talking about.
Can we talk about the Blair Witch? Because I literally walked out of
Well,
that.
that was made in a documentary style, right? But I'm talking about
Well,
like
Jason Bourne's supposed to have some of that
became-
feel. It's supposed to be somewhere in between.
I think
like
they're
you were
trying
a
to make you
witness
feel like you're in
to-
the fight.
Yeah,
like,
you're a witness to
it's-
Jason
the fight.
Bourne was the last movie was 2006 or 7. So
It would have been.
Bourne
yeah.
Supremacy was like 05, 04, something like that.
I just remember when that started to be a thing, kind of like the lens flare thing happening. I'm just like, it's just unnecessary.
Well, unlike lens flare, they didn't add it in post. Like it's actually a mechanical effect of filming the scene
but
in that way.
it's unnecessary.
You know what else
it
is
obnoxious
unnecessary?
when done too much.
You know what else is unnecessary? The soap opera effect that they put on modern television.
I agree.
Well, in constant steady
you
cam,
love
crane
so much.
shots feel like the
I just
soap
like to be
opera
able to see
effect.
the screen.
Michael Jordan's or Johnson. Michael Johnson.
That don't make no sense.
It's all right.
I'm talking.
Oh, it's
and I'm-
about her, so don't interrupt her.
No, I
She's
didn't
got
even
this.
know. It's just
Well, she is the best thing about this
I
channel.
am.
That's what I've
So
heard. That's what I've
Michael
heard.
says, Melinda, do you ever seek out the movies featured in Red Letter Media's Best of the Worst? Well, Michael will tell you that there are a number of those films that I have already seen.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be watching and I go, I've already seen that.
They
He's
just
like,
did one on Event Horizon.
you intentional. I know.
Did you see it?
I
I haven't watched it yet. Is
Yeah,
it good?
yeah.
I just remembered that I saw that 2 days ago.
I thought of you when I watched
and that I
it.
hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's okay. I
But
gotta
that's
watch
not
that.
a best of the worst. That's
That's just a deep dive,
That's
right?
them doing the deep dive. But like Ice Cream Man is a good example of a more recent horror film that I rented that's got is it Ron Howard's little brother that's
He's
the-
in
the
all the
lead.
Adam Sandler movies.
I can't remember his name. But anyway,
Yes.
he's the main character. I rented that movie. I used to rent like every single horror movie like in the movie
Clint
room.
Howard.
Clint Howard, that's his name. Obviously his last name's Howard. I just couldn't remember his first name.
He could have changed it.
They couldn't even get through it, and I'm like, I watched that whole movie. I've
last
also
name is probably
seen
not Eastwood.
several of the Mystery Science Theater movies, like Squirm, for example. I rented.
That's hard to
also,
I
believe.
remember that one.
Also, Werewolf
Remember that
with
one?
Joe Estevez. I rented that movie as well. So yeah,
That one was a weird one.
I've seen a lot of bad movies. But I feel like watching bad movies teaches you more about filmmaking than watching good movies.
Well, sometimes saying why something's bad is easier than figuring out why something was good.
Well,
like
yeah,
it illustrates the negative. in a
Because
way.
people who make good movies make it look easy, but people who make bad movies, you realize how hard it is. And you know, a lot of those people are trying really hard. You know,
How do those ever get out of position? Or do you just alternate?
He's moving them so that they don't warp.
He does it
Oh, he
every live
explained
stream
that
now. Have
last
you
time,
noticed
you're
that
right.
he does it every live stream?
No, and he explained it last time, and it makes sense. You're right. He's doing it so they don't bend
Yes.
where they're resting.
But you know, you could just hang them differently and
Yeah.
not worry about that.
You shut up, sir.
Don't forget to rotate your lightsabers. We would always say to Michael. It's
Did you
one
hear
of those
Disney
memories.
has a new lightsaber that works?
like a slap
Like a
bracelet.
slap bracelet.
Who want really?
Yes. There
It's
was a whole
like,
BuzzFeed
you know
on how the
what?
magic behind how it works.
It's like two tape measures that are
Bucky07 says, speaking of B movies, watch the pirate movie. I was actually thinking about watching that,
Oh.
just like last night, but Michael will never stay awake through it. But I'll
You mean
watch
like
it.
Pirates of the Caribbean, or what's going on here?
No, the pirate movie. They sent it to us.
Oh,
One that somebody sent us as a thing. Jim says Melinda has to be the adult in the room.
Mm.
Yeah, it's super fun.
That doesn't make us like her more.
Nope. I don't really care.
So I'm a child. Is
How
it?
adult of you?
Trust me, you don't see her after the live.
She's actually for real mad at me for today, and I don't really fully get it.
Are you really mad at him?
Oh yeah.
Is this a soap opera?
There's gonna be murder.
It's
There's
like,
gonna be murder
is she
later.
really mad? I'm not mad.
Someone play the Twin Peaks music in the background.
She doesn't trust me like she used to because it was so funny last week. We were after the show, we relaxed, and she goes, "You know, we all have bad moods." And then she goes, "Except you, Tim. I don't think I've ever seen you in a bad mood."
That just means I'm waiting.
That's what she's just
I'm
like,
literally waiting because, like, in my life experience, everyone will turn on you. Like, you can't trust anyone.
Oh my
So
gosh.
she doesn't trust me. That's what it is.
I don't trust
too
any of
happy.
you or any of you. I don't trust anyone.
What about
It's just-
me?
I grew
No.
up in the 90s. Trust no one.
She's just not answering.
That's not what you told
You
everybody.
didn't grow up in the 90s.
That's not what you
I
said.
mean, I was a teenager in the
you
90s.
you said in front of everybody, our friends and family, that you did trust me. You told the universe that you trusted me.
Jason says, Red Letter Media's dig at Event Horizon hurt me for some reason. The whole time I was just like, but I kind of like the movie.
Are you saying you lied during our marriage ceremony?
Oh my God.
And this is the moment that Michael never let
my
go of.
God.
You don't trust me?
Michael.
Morgan
Who-
Freeman.
Who gets? Do they split the best?
No,
balloons
I
equally,
trust
or-
that you are
No,
going
they've
to
got
be
to cut
grumpy.
all of them
Like,
in half.
you're
like,
grumpy all the
physically in
time.
half.
So I don't. That
I
doesn't
know
even,
that's not the same kind of trust.
Well, as long as she just gets the yellow lightsaber.
She thinks I'm going to end up becoming
Yeah.
like some
no, I don't.
murderer or something. That
Why are you so
Wow.
worried about that?
I'm
Is it
not.
something
I
that's
just
likely to
find it
happen?
weird. It's like I thought
Are you
It's
turning
weird,
into Marky
man.
Mark?
It's
just
like,
find
you
it
know,
weird,
Stress
bro.
behavior? When
you lied at our wedding ceremony.
When Michael
You said that
gets
you
stressed,
trusted me.
He turns
But
into
you
Mark
don't.
Wahlberg.
It's the vows, dude. The vows.
Oh my god!
You think I'm going to become some kind of villain?
Yes, Zantara. Clint Howard for the win. A World Made of Cardboard says, my wife asks about Spy Kids.
Oh,
I have
It's a
seen
kids
that
movie.
in the
It's a
background.
kids movie.
She may have been asking
And
tongue in
it's
cheek.
Saturday.
totally.
Tongue in cheek, I think.
It-
Isn't that
Actually,
Antonio Banderas?
a lot of people have
Yes.
brought up
Yeah.
Spy Kids.
He's
look,
bad.
look, to quote,
It's short hair Antonio Banderas, though. Which
Oh,
is
you
not,
only like the was it El Dorado or no?
Desperado.
Desperado.
Yeah.
El Mariachi. That
to
particular.
quote Melinda, is it a movie you can really trust? I mean,
You seem damaged by this, Michael. I think you should relax. You know.
This is not going away.
I blame Tim.
What?
so what you're saying is you don't actually know me and don't want
That
to
is not
trust
what I am
me.
saying. Do you
You're
want to have this
saying-
conversation
you're
in front
saying-
of
I
everyone?
did not want it to go there. I just thought it was funny.
you think you wanted it to
missed
go
you
there.
guys
I
last
did not
week.
want it
A
to go
World
there.
Made of Cardboard says she corrected me. It was Get Smart.
Get Smart was a great TV show.
It
It's
was.
a good TV show.
Michael,
yes.
I trust you. Calm the hell down. Jesus.
I don't think she trusts me.
I don't now because you won't let it go.
So if you don't believe her when she tells you she trusts you, who's being the untrusting person?
Thank you, Aaron. You're back off my list again.
No, he's just twisting everybody
I
up.
might
He's
live
playing a
another
game.
day,
He's playing a
might
game with our
live
psyche.
another
He
day.
does. He plays. The
Michael,
game.
don't come at me. Jesus, you're mad at her, not me.
Hey,
See?
Peter says, Melinda, would you trust Stallone? I mean,
Probably not,
no, but I would enjoy talking
but
with
she'd
him.
want to.
I would want to. I want to trust people, but I just don't.
I think it's time to put the movies up.
Jason says the government wants me to stimulate the economy. Here's some for you.
Whoa.
Wow.
Thanks,
I don't think
Jason.
his
Very
last
generous.
name's Eatman. I think it's Bourne.
Yeah, that's true.
He's like, I feel compelled to do this.
And then I come back to the world. Melinda doesn't trust me.
We were kids.
Let him next review or renew. Let him next says renew your vows on the stream.
Ooh.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Oh, in continuation,
Michael.
Michael. Oh dear.
I already know that you're going to be mad and grumpy and filled with rage
That's not.
at most times during the day. So I therefore trust that that is what the reality is going to be. So
Oh my!
I have no lack of trust in you. Do you feel
I
better now?
this wow. Saltier than crate.
You just keep poking me, and
It's
I don't.
like Cracker Barrel cheese.
Hey, why are you pushing me? I haven't done anything to you. Why you keep pushing me? I'll give you a war you won't believe.
I'm just gonna whistle. My heart will go on. The more you guys fight.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Wicked Person says, who is the double agent at your table? That's a great question. Me? I think it's Aaron.
Why would it be me?
Because of that right there.
What makes you think I've got the skill to be a double agent? Abort.
Zantara says, marriage. I don't know
Well,
why he
what?
got so worked up about that.
I was making a joke for the entertainment of everybody on the stream.
Are you not entertained?
What are we looking
I
for?
called for your attention, but then I couldn't get this. Here you go, Mike.
Oh no, I can get the blade.
Oh, you gave me this. Like, this is a gift from you.
He doesn't.
Is it not good enough for you to use? That's why he gave it to me, is because it's not good enough to use on the live stream.
That's right.
My goodness gracious.
Jason says that you're a Canadian spy.
I mean, if I was, would I even know that?
I mean, you're not Jason Bourne, so.
Well, that's sadly obvious. Thank you for pointing that out.
No, I'm
Miranda.
saying you know who you are, is what I'm saying.
I do.
Jody says, if there is a double agent, it's Melinda. She's the one that loves to derail the stream, and we so love her for that. Do I or do Aaron, like, you know, does Aaron derail the stream more? Like, who's more derailing?
I
Votes,
probably.
Michael, Tim. Who derails the stream more, me or Aaron?
Yeah, they're better to ask.
Aaron.
Yeah. Michael's going to say me because he doesn't want you to be mad at him.
Well, no,
He doesn't care.
Oh, he does.
I just don't think I want to answer that question.
See what I mean?
I'm just gonna sit here and
World
open
Made
these
of Cardboard
packages.
says, change the subject. Change of subject. Doctor Who did rock creatures first. Tom Baker episode Stones of Blood. It was the first Doctor Who episode that really scared me as a kid.
What in the world?
What?
For me, it was the one where they fell in the bottomless pit. I will never forget realizing as a child that person would never hit the bottom.
That's upsetting.
It was very upsetting as a kid.
Dear Michael, you mentioned in our interview that your Sentry robot action figure from the black hole was missing its gun.
My goodness.
It is
No.
packaged here in all its worn glory. It is the only accessory for any of the black hole figures besides Star.
I
Wow,
don't think I've ever
dude,
seen
Todd,
one of those.
thank you so much.
That's insane.
I desperately hope I can still be part of a retro blasting feature. Of course you are, man. I haven't forgotten that. It's just remember, look, Tim is always sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. Tim is always talking about Bionic 6, and I am actively working on it, but just give me a little time.
7 years.
It hasn't been
Just a
it's been 7?
little more time is
Count.
all we're asking for.
Sorry.
Michael,
What?
I know this is an amazing gift.
Uh-huh.
But I wanted you to acknowledge World Made of Cardboard's Doctor Who rock creature.
Change of subject. Doctor Who rock creatures. First Tom Baker episode. Stones of
I did.
Blood. It was the 11th Doctor episode that really scared me as a kid. Doctor Who did rock creatures first. Yes, that's very true. Tom Baker did. Tom Baker is the longest running Doctor, therefore, you know, it's hard to keep all of his stories straight because he was there. He was around for what, 7 or 8 years. He kind of saw it all. Tom Baker saw pretty much everything except Sea Devils, I think, and Ice Warriors.
Oh my.
So
Wilson says, Aaron, that's what a double agent would say.
A
And
double agent would say what? though?
that they're not a double agent.
Why
um,
would they say they are a double agent?
Mhm.
Wicked Person says rock creatures on Star Trek original series.
Let's not lose sight of the fact that people
Oh,
who are
yeah.
also not double agents would also say that they're
It's one of
not
the
double
great
agents.
Great episode.
So that alone is somewhat of a pointless thing to say either way. is what I
Correct.
think
It's
that-
not
Now, the
indicative.
odd part is
of-
he has 2
of
holsters.
being a double
but
agent.
given that it's Mego,
You're
he
getting
probably
really-
only came with 1 gun.
like
Right.
this.
Like, yeah.
You're getting like that.
I think
What
he
does-
would
Face
have
is
been the
what does
only
that
literally
one
doing
mean?
that.
What are you
Right.
talking
It's
about?
the
My
only way
face
I can-
doesn't do this.
Yeah.
Wow. How does
I
he
would put it in the holster.
Yeah, because there's no way his hand is going to go around that.
Well, now we know why they get lost frequently.
Who is
Yes.
someone says, who is this Todd person?
That's cool.
Todd is he is a very
A
kind,
very cool guy.
very
clearly.
cool guy that I had the pleasure of talking to at length for a interview I did with Mouse Planet, which I posted the link to a few weeks ago. It was a great interview. It was a lot of fun, and I believe he even posted. I want to say he posted an audio of that interview somewhere, but I could be wrong about that. But it's a print article on Mouse Planet, and I had a lot of fun doing that interview.
Jason says only a triple agent would say they're a double agent. Greg says, my wife and I have been married for 23 years. Trust is only part of the equation. Blaze says, I am a double agent.
Very cool, Blaze.
That's pretty awesome.
I might know
Wicked
you.
Person says, I think there should be a whole episode with Geode molting prior to a mysterious transformation into another rock. That's pretty great. And then Peter Vinkman says, which member of the table would fail a lie detector?
I don't know.
Michael.
I would fail it if I wasn't telling the truth. That's why I don't lie.
No, I think he just would be freaked out that he was being given a lie detector, and so he would be telling the truth, but he would still fail. He would still fail.
A gift for you from Sal. It's not a toy for the collection, but I figured this would help you display your collection for filming.
Ooh, I like that.
As do I. I like equipment.
Oh, they're more risers.
Excellent.
Tall risers?
We can always use more of these. Always.
Careful, he'll send you on a dangerous mission into space.
Christian says, Melinda has a really nice singing voice. It's the best thing about this podcast.
Smooth.
Poke.
Smooth.
That's funny.
They just still got the film on them.
Yeah, they do, because I accidentally...
A World Made of Cardboard says Star Trek. It was the Horta.
Yes.
Cool name, by the way. I always like that.
One of the
name.
best episodes of the original series.
Kevin says, when it comes to retroblasting, I come for Michael's criticism, but I stay for Melinda's singing.
I accidentally nicked it.
I mean, nobody's going to notice that.
Right.
Space Monkey Mafia says, all this talk of triple and double agents is giving me bad flashbacks of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I was actually going to go there. One of the worst plot points of that movie.
I don't think I made it far enough to even get that reference.
Andy.
Who?
His buddy who betrayed him, and he
the
said
jerkwad?
he goes, "Don't you remember? We were double agents. I was a double agent."
It was so bad.
It was bad.
It was such a bad film.
Wolfie says, ye old Simpsons quote, Mr. Bont, you expect me to talk? Scorpio, I don't expect anything from you except to die and be a very cheap funeral.
No, Mr. Bond.
Sal,
I
thank
expect
you.
to
Thank you
die.
so much for these, Sal, because for those of you watching who've asked about the cases in the past and stuff, you can never have too many acrylic
No, you
risers.
cannot.
You will always need more if you want to display things properly.
Oh,
Sal, thank you.
finger.
By saying it that way, he indicates that there is a correct and an incorrect way to display things.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, this is from Evander from France.
Evander sends just some of the coolest stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he raps so
Actually-
very, very well.
Evander has messaged me. I do believe I know what this is.
He sends emails that I see in the email box. Wow.
Yes.
What the heck?
I see BBC written on it.
What?
That is cool.
Wow, it's a Doctor Who playset?
Yeah, it's a... Okay, so first off, there's a postcard in here, and it says...
A lot of things.
He has,
Clearing
the
out
best
my-
handwriting.
Okay,
Very good.
how many of us would love to be able to write the sentence one day, clearing up my flat in Paris?
I would love to make
That's
that
true.
sentence. That's
That
a-
would be a great sentence.
All right, so as we're talking about secret agents, and here's this guy saying, cleaning out my flat in Paris, just like Jason Bourne did in the Bourne Identity. I found this spare character options Doctor Who playset. It's the last of the 3 and 7.5-inch playsets character options finished with a bang. I don't know if it was exclusive to Argos or not. Hopefully it's not too faded and battered for the RetroBlasting collection. Keep up the great work. Dude, Evander, you are the kindest person, man. So this is
It has some figures.
it's when character options, when
You might
Matt
have to
Smith
walk it over there to...
when Matt Smith and Capaldi were doing the show, they changed the dominant scale to 3 3/4 inch, like Star Wars size, which ticked off all the collectors. But they were able to do these these
Play
play
sets,
You
sets.
need to
yeah.
scooch it this way.
Yeah.
So that people can. There you
You might put it on a riser.
go.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Now it says compatible with the spin and fly TARDIS, which means now I'm going to be tempted to find the smaller TARDIS and get that as
You
well.
should get all of the smaller scale
It's like
ones that are out.
lightsaber hilts. He has quite a many Tardai.
Yeah,
It's
is that
true.
the correct pluralism?
Evander, thank you. That's very kind.
I
Very
would
kind
say
of you, sir.
TARDISes.
Tardises.
Jason Anderson says, nope, that was it. Sorry,
That's a heavy
Micah.
box.
Micah says, oh, Argo was kind of a spy movie. Jason says, I think I once changed a flat in Paris, Missouri.
That's close.
It's very close, Jason.
They're going pro. Greco-Roman, strictly torso.
Who is this from?
This is from Chris Gatliff.
Oh, that's awesome. I already like the top.
Oh, it's so glorious.
That was the heavy box, wasn't it?
Yes.
Right
It's
there.
all sugar.
Dear
That's-
RetroBlasting, I want to say that's what I saw. I got so excited about.
Michael does love some.
Dear
Marvel.
Retro
Tim, you
Blasting.
could set the DeLorean on fire and we could roast marshmallows.
I want
Or
to
the yard,
say
you know.
thank you for all the hard work you guys do your videos and keeping us entertained. I was in a wheelchair and had 5 surgeries on my right leg. I almost lost it twice, but I'm now walking without the chair. And I've also had a gastric bypass, and I have lost 151 pounds to this
Wow.
date. Congratulations.
Well, you're not helping me. That's all I'm going to say.
Just want to say thank you for helping keep me entertained during this time. There's a little something in there for everyone in the box.
Oh, my God.
Is that Big League
Big
Chew?
League
Big League
Chew.
And it's
Chew.
grape. It's
The
grape.
grape flavor.
The best flavor.
Yeah,
best
that was
flavor.
good stuff.
Get ready, Chris. They're all going to fight over it.
No, I've
No,
had
got
plenty
what
of
I want
mine.
right here.
This
We're going to
mine.
eat these in the after show.
I can't chew.
Said he
that
was
much.
going to send a vacuum
No, this
cleaner,
is
but he
yours.
thought Michael
I'm gonna
would have
take
thought
the
it
next-
sucked.
I'm going to take the next thing.
I can't chew it.
That's
It gives me a headache.
I've seen
Okay.
Bum, bum, bum.
Uh-oh.
I do
So,
love it though.
so Aaron, he sent you some Twizzlers.
Oh, they're labeled.
For Aaron, he sent those
Circus peanuts.
Oh, hooray!
Don't you hate
You
those?
actually like those?
I like those, but I can't eat them.
If Aaron
because
eats
they've got
this whole
gelatin.
bag in 20 minutes, he does not have to watch a movie Melinda wants him to.
I do not agree to that. I do
That's
not
great.
agree to that.
I'm gonna save this for the next time I need to call a mulligan on a movie that she wants us
three
to talk about.
3 double-decker vanilla moon pies.
Yum.
Which I don't even know
Crap.
where you get
You know, those
those.
take a little longer in the microwave, guys, just so you know.
Sent
But they
a
exponentially
box.
expand.
Whoa, salted caramel double-decker moon pies.
Yeah.
Those would be so good. Salted. I mean, what's better than salted caramel? I mean, that's
Just regular
good stuff.
caramel without salt
No,
on it.
Salted
I
caramel.
like it. It's
I
very good.
totally
So
disagree.
good.
I think
Okay.
caramel is
So good.
fantastic on its
He sent a
own.
bite-sized banana moon pie.
Oh, how cute.
Looks like a little bit of Homer's mouth.
He sent for
What is that?
Melinda
A
a
pony.
pony pack. It's a pack of mini ponies.
It's a pack of mini
cool.
ponies.
A pack of mini ponies.
For
See
Tim,
that?
Deco
Reese's.
It's a deco pack. On top of the world.
Oh.
They figured you out, bud.
See this and the marshmallows. I have to try.
Those aren't even labeled
The
for Tim, but
chocolate-
those are Tim's.
the
No.
chocolate stuff. They're
Oh,
chocolate
this is
stuffed
to go on
marshmallows.
top of
That looks
cakes.
good.
What?
These ponies are cake decorating ponies. That's why he got them.
So you can use them with your.
It says to put on top of the world's best cakes. How
That's
cool
ex-
is that?
That's exciting.
That is exciting. Thank you.
This one is for Tim.
Very thoughtful.
It's a cylinder.
2 for Melinda.
What? Give me that.
It's... Are they like targets?
I don't want to mess them up.
Here, I'm gonna switch back here.
Thanks.
If this is a treasure map, I'm gonna be.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow.
What? I can't see.
Okay.
Put your papers on. Tim still can't see.
Oh, that is cool.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Don't wrinkle them. Are they all the same?
No.
No, they look like the other one's different.
Don't touch
I'll
me.
put it right there.
No, certainly not.
Back to 2.
I'll put it right here.
Hang on a second.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's for Tim.
Oh, okay.
And then
I love love the third one. I mean, the
Where did
scene
these
of
come
stealing the
from?
Enterprise.
Oh yeah.
These look professionally printed.
Megadeth.
Peace
So
sells,
that
but
makes
who's
sense.
buying?
The Trek one's for you. The other two for
With
Melinda.
special guest Sacred Reich. Oh, this is like an actual show from Phoenix, Arizona. Sweet.
My God.
I
You
know.
said so much, man.
Okay, so we've got here. We have. Oh no!
Where did
This
the other
this
ones go?
happened to them.
Oh no.
It's just pre-chewed. Pre-chewed.
Where did the other ones go?
They're
They're back behind
That's
you
not
on the
pre-digest.
thing.
Prop them up.
So we
My
have some
arm's not long
more
enough to
moon
reach it.
pies.
One was smushed, but it's
One
okay.
was smushed, but that. Oh, we have another one smushed.
Oh, man.
But that's because this looks like it's got somebody's name written all over it. Wahlberg's wall sauce.
That stuff is good too on their burgers. It's really good on their burgers.
Are you kidding me?
It's really good on the burgers.
Oh, these smell good.
You got to do it. Man. You got
Jason
to read
says,
it.
Jason says, is this a bottomless box?
It is.
Dipping sauce spread burger, salad, chicken, tater tots, fries, sandwiches. Wahlburgers.
Those
It's
smell
sick,
pretty good.
bro.
I know.
It's sick.
Wow.
Wow. Best by June 23rd. So it has to be used by June 23rd.
No, it's of 21.
Yeah, I know, but that's this year.
It's
Oh,
probably
yeah, that's
June.
Sorry.
All
June
right.
23rd happens only once every 4
We
years.
have another moon pie.
There's a lot of little
There's
baby
still
banana.
so
moon-
much in this box.
Oh.
No wonder it was
Hot
so heavy.
buffalo flavor bugles. Both
Ooh, buffalo flavor.
probably not as hot as your Doritos, but they're hot.
Buffalo hot's
You
different.
could start a fusion
Buffalo
generator
hot
with those
is different.
Doritos.
It is very different.
Okay.
Very good in a wrap.
Is it like ugly hot?
No.
No, it's just different.
Like Adam Driver?
wow.
That's what someone else said, and it was a woman who said that, not me.
That made it worse, Michael.
Midnight's Edge says the moon pies were for packaging.
He sent me a box of dots.
Dots are good.
Dots are good. Thank you, sir.
He does love dots.
Swedish fish.
Those are for me and Aaron.
Well, then you got plenty because
Wow. What flavor is that?
you even got Swedish fish flavored lip balm.
That's just
That is
true.
the coolest thing I've ever seen. Oh my god!
I ain't got no call for lip balm.
All right,
My
I'm
God, it's the
totes using
Swedish
this
fish
right
we
I
now.
know.
It's amazing.
We could line our flower beds with
Outside
it.
with Swedish fish.
Stay away from my flowers. Look, it's pink, you guys.
Ooh, what is that?
What are the odds?
Ooh, you're about to have a fit with that over there.
What?
You know you can reach in and pull things out, Michael.
George Aitken says, "Is that box related to the wardrobe to Narnia?"
He sent a book. This is heavy. For a little book, this is heavy.
It's heavy, bro.
It's
I
made
mean,
with uranium.
What's
you
a
got to
heavy
feel it.
substance?
It's got some mass to it. It's got some weight.
No, that means
Um,
it's probably radioactive.
This is Battles of World War II, Battle of Britain, 1940, from Osprey Publishing. Dude, thank you. I'll put this. I'll enjoy reading this. It's going to be part of my Battle of Britain library. Thank you. And then
Tim Hayes says, "Michael is very happy to have candy." You know, guys,
We all
I'm
are.
going to for next week for the live stream. This is my goal. I'm going to film the cabinet upstairs that's got
Oh,
all
that's
the
a good one,
candy in it,
yeah.
and then I'm going to make it just a little short video, and I'm going to drop it into the live stream so that I can play it for you to show you how much candy we have. Just
It's one of the main reasons I come over here.
we lure people with candy.
It's bad.
Timothy,
Oh, wow. Nice.
are you kidding me?
wow.
Are you kidding me?
Timothy Ward says, the book is heavy. Do you even lift, bro?
What? Hold on. I was just saying it was a substantial book. I wasn't straining with the weight. All right.
It's like that scene in Clerks where he's like, I heard you grunt when you picked that up, bro.
It's not a grunt. It was a sigh. That was a grunt.
You really need to lift. You really need to lift more.
I don't have an ounce of fat on my body, but no tone either. That's this whole stupid conversation.
And you remember it.
I do. He sent me 2 Kylie Minogue photographs, which is awesome.
I know a guy who likes her.
Yeah.
Matt Film Production says, I went to an airfield to film a car event for my channel. They took out a World War II Spitfire, got some great photos of it and a video of it taking off and flying away, and thought of you guys. Michael's too obsessed with his Kylie thing to be listening
That's
to
a
me.
nice little
But
moment, Matt
I'm
Film
sure that
Productions.
he appreciates it in his
I do
own
appreciate
Michael
it.
way.
He sent a original vinyl single of "I Should Be So Lucky,"
Very cool.
which is from 1988. I believe this is the this may be the British one, but I can't tell.
Ratnick says one day instead of sending Michael food, we'll be sending him insulin.
Which will be more expensive.
You know why the
sadly.
candy's piling up though? Because I moderate the amount I eat in any given week. That's why I'm not.
Michael's one of the few people on the planet I hate because he can just forget to eat and it doesn't bother him.
Seriously.
Melinda,
Michael.
this is yours. It is. It
Is
is
it
so
Is
ironically
it
awesome.
nudes?
No, but it is so ironically awesome. I can't even begin.
I saw it.
What's happening? Oh, I think I already know what this is. Yep, it's exactly what I
Oh
thought.
my
it was.
god! You guys. It's Gerald McRaney's autograph as Major Dad. Oh my god, you guys, I am so framing this and putting it somewhere. You guys, look at it. Look at the
Not a bad
majesty of
thing.
it.
No, it's
This-
not a bad thing.
This is the
Great.
best thing in the box, and that's saying a lot. Look at that. It's autographed and everything.
Don't wrinkle it. What?
Oh, the reveal on that too was just really
Oh,
spectacular.
it's because the bottom up. You just saw the elbow,
Oh my god.
the
that
hairy
was I was
forearm,
like, what is this?
the meaty paw. What could it be?
What could it be?
Ooh, spice drops.
That's what I told you.
Oh my god, I love those. No, I don't.
You don't like those?
No. I thought they were something else. A World Made of Cardboard says, so with all the candy, what kind of toothbrush would you recommend? Definitely electronic.
Hey, look, the original Big League Chew.
Mm.
The nice.
Tastes like baseball cards.
Mm.
And then we have more Big League Chew.
Stifka Please says, because RetroBlasting is awesome. Thank you for the fun. Thank you.
You want the grape? You were the most excited to see
Everybody
the grape.
loves the grape.
Well,
Tim was the most excited to see the grape.
Well,
I
Melinda
think-
was too.
Thank you.
she
Thank
doesn't
you for
drink
the
it
super
anyway.
chat.
Oh yeah, thanks, Stifka. Appreciate that. Oh, we got more of those salted caramel Milky Ways that you like so much. And okay, here we go. We've got cake mix, spice cake mix.
Aaron,
Mm.
just for you.
This is so cool because I was just trying to think, what would I give to Melinda right now if I had something I could give her? And I was thinking, if I had some spice cake mix or 3 boxes of spice cake mix, I might give you 3 boxes of spice cake mix that were given to me by someone very generously. Can you smell
Yeah, I
that?
can actually.
And it makes you want to eat
Smell
it
the
too,
spice.
doesn't
Just
it?
want to eat
And I
it.
don't.
The
I don't
spice
have the
cake.
same
Yeah,
reaction
you
to
do.
spice cake. No.
Yeah.
This has
No.
Tim written all
Can you
over
set
it.
that
Yeah,
over
I
there? I don't
What?
know where to put it.
All right, this is the last thing in the box. It is an original issue of Micronauts from Marvel.
Cool. What issue is it?
It's issue 13,
Wow.
the Zodiac Keys.
Not to be mistaken for the Zodiac Killer.
Ooh.
Bringing it back to
Ooh.
murder.
Ooh.
Wow. Well, Chris, thank
And
you so
Major
much.
Dad.
And Major Dad, and thank you so much,
You
man.
definitely pay attention because
That was
Wow.
a really well-tailored box. Thank you
that
very
that
much.
is
is
a-
a great box.
I mean, I would give that like 10 out of 10
Yeah.
on
Wow.
box ratings.
I'm just
I'm over
staring
here
at these
just eating
circus peanuts.
I got a pile over here.
Oh my God.
I
Oh
love
my God.
Reese cups are my favorite.
You've already eaten like a third of the bag.
They're good. They're Reese cups.
Micronauts versus the Zodiac Killer.
That would be an amazing.
I
issue.
would read that. Scott Hughes, no, I do not like carrot cake. I actually don't like carrots. So even as a vegetarian, it's one of those things that they put in like every vegetarian thing.
She
and I'm
likes like maybe one vegetable, right? So it's like as a vegetarian,
heavy
you're a
are.
mono vegetable.
and what
consumer.
vegetable is that?
I don't know. I've
Good.
tried to guess, and
Pretty
every
good.
time I guess one, you're like, nope, don't like
That's
that
like a piece
vegetable.
of chocolate in the middle of
I
it.
know.
I don't like carrot cake.
Cauliflower.
It's
You'd
the
like
crunch. I don't-
cauliflower.
I don't
I-
like
I do
cauliflower.
love
I like broccoli.
asparagus,
I do too.
broccoli.
I
Okay.
don't.
But you don't like peas.
asparagus.
Don't with
Okay.
too sweet.
I think I've made that mistake.
All
What
right.
about Brussels sprouts?
Nope, don't
No
like
Brussels
those either.
Okay.
It's
Lima
like the
beans?
marshmallow part.
Yes.
That I don't.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Black-eyed peas,
Yes.
field peas.
Yes.
Okay, so we're the legumes. We're doing pretty
The
well.
legumes, I'm all about them.
Yeah. Okay.
Beans, all about them.
Squash,
Oh, I can't stand it. We're gonna do
zucchini, eggplant. I don't know. I'm running out of vegetables for my red
Sweet
meat.
potatoes.
Ah,
Yes,
there we
I
go.
do. Like
But
sweet potatoes.
Those are tubers.
I can't open this.
Tubers.
The rest of the stream will just be called food time.
And it's just good. Aaron's just gonna list all the vegetables
We're
you
all
can think
getting
of.
like just lethargic.
I have eaten
Bad.
half a bag of Twizzlers. And,
Yes,
open
I
this.
do like butter
says
beans, a
open
world
here.
made of cardboard. I am from the South. Ben, no, I do not
You
like
can do it.
Brussels sprouts.
Okra,
They
fried okra,
don't like-
boiled okra.
Nope, don't like okra.
Tomatoes raw.
Yes.
Tomatoes cooked.
Yes. All tomatoes.
All
are
tomatoes.
delicious.
Okay.
I think it's
Cabbage.
advertising.
No.
Kind of a wasted
the blade.
vegetable, but it fills a need from time. Beets. Do you like beets at all?
Like sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes beets are good. Yes, I'd agree with you on that. Spinach.
Is that the correct
It's like
answer?
opening
Yes,
a bag
You're
of
spinach
doing
is-
chicken.
very well so far.
spinach
Thank
is
you.
good.
And now moving on to collard greens. Collard
Nope,
greens.
I don't like bitter vegetables.
What if
They-
they're boiled
Nope,
correctly?
I don't
so
like
kale.
All
is
right.
Out. Kale is out. Cucumbers.
Well, I guess that's everything today.
I mean,
Which
that
is
is
a lot.
really everything. We are not going to be cleaning this table between now and the after show, but we do have lots of fun snarkiness that will be discussed in the after show. So if you're interested in that, do stay tuned. In about 20 minutes, we'll be starting the after show for our as Tim always likes to say, you pledge $1 and
Just
you
a
get
dollar
4 extra shows
a month.
per month
Yep.
ish.
Hit the like
Sometimes
button.
5 if you know.
That is weird.
Isn't that weird?
All right.
Good.
Roll credits.
Anyway.
All right, everybody. For those of you that aren't patrons, hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you on the next
Wait,
show.
I got one more super chat that just snuck in at the very last
Whoa.
minute. Shane, wow.
Whoa.
He says, I was watching an old He-Man live stream with Michael, and he said YouTube takes 50% of your super chat money. So I wanted to make sure you guys got at least $10 of mine.
It's very kind,
I
Shane.
think they take about 35%. Am I wrong?
Something like that.
30, 35.
Yeah, but
sorry.
We'd be sure, but
For those-
that isn't your problem, sir. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
the
for
That's
generosity.
those of you who aren't aware, the next video or installment of Star Wars Follies will be landing next week, but it will be on Analog Toys. I'm in it. Broken Vader's in it. It is an official installment of Star Wars Follies, but it will be with Analog Toys and 2 Cents Toys, myself and Broken Vader, and it will be early next week when it gets posted.
What Arrowverse is this?
I know. Hey,
Crazy time.
we're breaking the YouTube algorithm doing this, and we're enjoying
Holy
every second
moly.
of it. For those of you that aren't patrons, obviously have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll
Mhm.
see you next week, and we'll be posting videos next week.
Just be a patron.
And for those of you who are on Patreon, you'll know that in the next 15 to 20 minutes, we'll post the link to the after show, and we'll see you there. So
And
Goodbye.
Jody says Brussels sprouts are evil, and I agree.
I
Jody.
love Brussels sprouts.
Well,
Depends
Very
on how
much.
you're
how they're
evil, so
prepared.
that tracks.
I'll eat them roasted. I'll eat them steamed.
Will you eat them in a cab? Will you eat them with your dad?
Yes, I've done both actually.
All right, and bye, everybody.
Goodbye.